all. Welcome back to All for United WFC. For one night only, we are doing an All for United WFC watch along. I'm going to bring up the team sheet. We're going to talk through this in a second. We've got Charlie, got Barry. We're going to go through everything to do with this crucial. I say crucial. It's not really crucial, isn't it? But we want to see us win a trophy. We've got about how long now? 8 minutes till kickoff. So we'll see how that's going to go. But just come to each of you. Let's talk through this team that's built out there. Any surprises? How are we going to line up with that? Because MUTV put it up, and I don't fully think that's how we're going to line up. But what do you two think on that one?
I expect Moore to be sitting in, won't she? Moore probably going to be a deep lying midfielder, and then Zelem and Groenen playing just ahead of her. Front three, I'm not sure, because arguably those front three could all play across those three positions, so that might be a bit more fluid, as if it were. But yeah, a couple of changes, which is good. Want minutes, don't we? Want minutes for players, and nice to see Tooney on the bench.
I think so. It's a bit surprising, wasn't it, really, to see what MUTV put out there. I think it's definitely going to be two, isn't it? It's going to be, like you said, Groenen attacking and Zelem and Moore together, you would have thought, unless, of course, they've actually spoken to Skinner and he's decided to go with that. But yes, as the supporters club have put it, I do feel it's probably going to be slightly more like that. So,
God, you're testing my eyesight already here.
You have to test your eyesight. We've got the great big massive starting 11 on there. But yeah, so I think that's really nice. And I think for me, it's interesting seeing the changes in the attack. I know that's caused a little bit of a stir on Twitter, but I am looking forward to seeing how both Garcia and Parris do today as well. So I think it's going to be really exciting. I can't wait.
No, 100%. I mean, there's Rob's throwing a formation out there, 4-1-3-2, maybe. Hello to Deb. I don't know whether Deb is coming on at half time, but I know her husband Mark is. So we'll make sure you tune in for that as well. At half time, because they were both over in France, so can give us a bit of an insight into what that was like against PSG the other night. Elle is in the comments as well over at Tooney's local. I hope you're enjoying yourself over there, Ellie, and try and get a picture of yourself in front of. I think you already have actually of in front of the nice, what do you call it, painting? There we go. I've lost my words here. So it's going to be a long show. I'm going to try not to talk too much there. So hello to everyone in the comments. A lot of people watching. Make sure you're liking the video and subscribing. We're literally 2 subs away now from the target of 700 that we set for the start of the season. So if you can,
Mark would probably bring them on about the hour, I would think.
You are sorry.
Mark would probably bring them on about the hour, I think.
Oh, it's already started. You're going to get if anyone's new to the channel, you're going to get this. You're going to get Barry's puns. You're going to get some things. We've got some interesting debates. We're going to talk about this whole legs and eyes debate that Man United women's Twitter started the other day. We've got, go-to snacks, match day snacks and all that kind of thing to go to and everything else. Because Charlie's actually at Huddersfield, if you can see there. Back at Huddersfield. I'm surprised you've not put the French background, the Toulouse Stadium behind you. So
I'll pop over there. I'll just pop over there at half time. Don't worry. I was a bit tight for time this afternoon. Just another quick thing about the lineup. It's obviously gone. I know there's not loads of choice, but it's obviously gone. It looks like Maya at centre back again with Maria. So potentially, like we've had news, haven't we, that Millie is about to go back into full training turn-up, which is obviously really good news. But then potentially isn't going to be quite ready for the start of the season. So that's looking like the centre-back pairing potentially. There's been no change at the back line, has there?
Yeah, it's interesting because just looking at it there, it's like someone said to me, I think someone tweeted us earlier saying it could be a back five. I mean, that would be more dropping into the back line. I can't see that personally, but it's interesting because I raised the question to you two, didn't I? That that front three potentially is our starting three going into the first game against Spurs. It depends how much time Russo's going to get in pre-season. The interesting one is Anna Thomas is there on the bench as well, because that's a name we've not spoken about at all, Martha Thomas. Where does she fit into all of this when you're looking at that attack as well?
Well, that's a job for
Skinner. Who is still missing? Is it just Earpsy and Russo now that haven't? Is Tunkara on the bench? I think it's just Earps and
Tunkara's not on the bench either.
So that's crazy. So Earps, Russo, and Tunkara to come into play as well.
Absolutely.
And
I recognise a couple of these Bayern players from being in tears in the Euro final. Oh.
Are we going to see more of that tonight? Are we?
Oh, don't do that.
I'm not trying to jinx it.
It's fate.
Do you know the one thing I love? We're just seeing the players come out now, and obviously Skinner's come out. Skinner is always dressed like everything. I swear, if Skinner could just pull off anything, because he just.
Hey now, baby, if you've got to go away. He's 17, isn't he? What was it? It was wearing an outfit last season. It was at the derby that we will not speak too much about, but he was wearing his like beige coat, his tight black top, and his cap. He had a cap on, didn't he? Looked a bit like a reverse Undertaker.
I certainly am jealous that he can just pull off anything. He just seems to be able to pull it off. Just started hashtag where's Martin. Probably scared to come back to the channel after Barry's impression of it the other night.
Get out of here.
That's what's going on there. I think someone's already answered your comment, Vincent, in terms of when's kickoff. It's about a minute or so away. Zelem
Just got a coin toss now. Zelem's having a look. She's decided which side to pick. It's been flipped.
Oh, she's good sign. She's won the coin toss.
Won it.
The coin toss. The coin toss.
You love the coin toss. Actually, the general manager of Stevenage, her surname is Toyne, so I don't worry about what's going to happen now.
Do you know what? I'm quite excited to see this front line of just 3 brand new signings. I'm quite excited for that. Because Leon and Garcia both looked good, didn't they, when they played in the last game? But I don't think they were on together at any point. So that'll be good.
Absolutely.
It's a fresh attack, isn't it? Because we're seeing something that we're seeing for the first time. This kind of the new signs really bedded in. We saw obviously a few on Tuesday night. I'm seeing a few more tonight. Obviously with Parris in the mix as well, Garcia starting. So we're seeing something a little bit different. And I think that's what this is why I like preseason. A lot of people don't like preseason. This is why I like it, because you get to see some names in there. You've started something.
Before we kick it off and we do the old the goals and everything, do you want to try and just for fun get these people to come up with a minute that they think the last goal is going to be scored in?
Why not? Do you want to explain it, Barry? It'd
be worth a go. So basically, if you just want to pop it, I'm going to get me notebook out now so I can write down your minutes as they pop up while the two sensible people do the chatting. But basically, you've literally just got to guess a minute when you think the last goal of the game will be scored. So it doesn't have to be by Man United. It could be by Bayern. It doesn't matter who scores it. Just the minute of the last goal. Obviously, if you think it's going to go to penalties and it's going to finish 0-0, you will find this game difficult. Other than that, you'll be fine. So, yeah, throw one in there and I shall write them down. 93rd minute from Solskjaer. That's going to be interesting, Mark, seeing that happen.
What's everyone saying here? So we're going to have to take some screenshots of some of these.
They're doing that mad thing again. What is this thing they keep doing where there's these random people just knocking the ball about the centre circle? I mean, I'd love to do that at LSV, first game of the season, just knocking it about barefoot. Does anyone know what that's about? Who
would be the best at that, though? Who would you send down? There you go. There's a quick fire question.
Who would I send out?
Who would you send down to do that little kick about? I think Mark, who's in the comments, would be quite good at that. Send Mark out there.
Mark Henry. Oh, I bet Mark was good at round the clock when he was younger. Did you ever play round the clock? So you'd stand in a circle, and the first one would have to do 1 kick up, and the next person would have to do 2, and then 3, and as soon as you all up to 24. I bet Mark would have been good at that.
I used
to love that game.
Oh, there we go. He's answered your question. It's a sponsorship thing. So it is interesting. It's not. I've never seen it before, but there we are.
But what are they sponsoring? That's what I would like to know.
That's a good question. Does anyone want to answer that just very briefly before?
Who do you think is going to win? PSG.
Who won earlier? Who won the game earlier?
Us. It's a good question, Connor. I don't know. I reckon Mark will know because I'm sure Shane and that lot might have told him. I didn't even look, didn't pay attention.
It was 1-1. It was 1-1 last time I checked.
Oh, and we're off.
And just as we've done that, we have hit the 700 subscribe mark. So thank you everyone who subscribed in the last kind of 10 minutes or so, because it's shot up in the last however long. So massive thanks to everyone who has just subbed off. But we have just kicked off, as Vincent has just put in the chat as well. We're going to win this 10-0. There we go.
We've got a Jackie. Someone's gone Jackie. Jackie first goal.
Jackie 90.
91 minute, get first goal.
91 there.
I'd be a bit worried if that was the first goal. Last goal, maybe. Earlier game went to pen. Who won though? I would have to Google this while.
There we go. I like that. Oh no, I don't. Right, what's everyone's thoughts on? This is like a weird, like grinding my gears, like Family Guy thing. I understand sometimes why you would wait for the fullback to take the throw in, but sometimes does anyone ever think just the nearest person, just pick it up and get it in as quickly as you can? There's got to be a time for that, surely. What do you reckon?
I don't really know how to answer that.
Do you reckon throw-ins are so carefully planned that they have a bit like any set piece or dead ball situation?
I think it sort of depends. You know, I'm a little bit worried when I'm, teaching the kids at school. I'll sort of say to them, just go down the line. That's because I'm more scared about what will happen if they throw it back the other way. The other team will probably get it and score. So, yeah, I always go for just down the line. She was doing her hair.
That's a cracking header from Garcia there, doing her hair and everything. Mid-header. That's a cracking header, that one. Charlie's brought up something. There we go. We'll go into this conversation while we've got a bit of Bayern Munich have just won possession back, but Charlie's snap game is on strong tonight, and that's a little conversation point in itself.
I'm glad you brought that up, Deb. I don't know how, or did I maybe just eat one a minute ago? So I've gone Jelly Baby. Best one is obviously the red one, followed by the black one, followed by the green one, followed by the orange, followed by the yellow, like any sweet of that variety. And then I've gone, although I spilt it just as we were going live, so I was cleaning up with a sock, but I've gone a New Zealand pale ale, which I wouldn't normally get. But you know those offers you can get where you can get like 40 random different types of lagers and stuff? My husband got one of those, so I'm slowly making my way through. So that's my snacks. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth. When I'm at LSV, I always eat a whole bag of chocolate buttons. Always.
That's going to Barry's chocolate orange.
Oh, very posh.
It's not that posh. It doesn't really belong to me. It's just sponsorship, isn't it?
This is you've got a tin.
There are other brands available.
Exactly that.
That's something interesting. I've never heard of a tin of Red Bull. Is that a thing?
That's a can. He means a can.
Just a can, yeah.
Mickey means a can, yeah.
Just very quickly, I'm going to bring the conversation of snacks back up in a second, but Mark has pointed out, and it is a very good... Jade and Jackie playing ahead of Zelem. Now, I said when the team came up before we went live, that's not going to be happening. And looks like it is, which is interesting. It looks like Parris on the right, Leon down the middle, Garcia off the left.
Yeah, we were ragging on MUTV. We were going, MUTV are thick. They don't know anything about the women's side. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I did say they might ask. I said, devil's advocate, might they've actually asked them and decided that's what they're going to do? So yeah, listen, we'll see how it works out.
Bringing it back to match day snacks, because I wanted to talk about that a little bit while United are on the ball at the moment. Let's see this play out. It's giving away possession. What John is referring to here. So I had a bit of a weird experience in Tesco about an hour and a half ago. Very short conversation. Someone stood next to me in the queue had what can only be described as about 50 bottles of Pepsi Max in their basket. Not the big ones, tiny individual bottles. And I was looking at each other, and they go, "Oh, they're not all for me." And I go, "That's fine." I said, "Just to let you know, there's some bigger bottles around the corner if it's easier." And they literally came back and said, "Well, I'm not judging you on your shopping, so why are you judging me on mine?" I was like, "Excuse me?" So that was a pleasant exchange. But it got me thinking, everyone's kind of match day go-to snack drink, because I can tell you mine straight from the off. It's the two things I got next to me. It's my old Lucozade Sport. Lucozade, if you want to sponsor us, it would be greatly appreciated. And my McCoy's Salt and Vinegar Crisps. They are every match day. John and Andrew will tell you on the way to LSV. Always. That's the things I buy. My little tuna sandwich as well. But I want to get, what's everyone's go-to? What does everyone like having on a match day?
Well, drinks-wise for me, it's Pepsi Max, but
Of course it is.
I've run out of that, so I've had to go with Copperberg today. Here we go.
Jade Moore! Jade Moore absolutely blitzing forward.
That's what we love to see.
Yeah.
Where we go?
Do you know, sorry, I think Anton put about like time to try different lineups, and it's true, isn't it? Because when we saw the lineup, we automatically did that thing of that's not where Jade Moore plays, that's not what she should be doing. But actually, he's right, isn't he? Like this is what this is pre-season, isn't it? Like, could this work if there was an eventuality or a situation where we'd need it to happen? Because she might be quite good at closing down from further up, which gives Zelem a bit more space and a bit more room to absolutely quarterback pass it. Wherever she jolly well likes.
Ooh,
anyway,
that's cheeky.
It's a nice little flick. TJ, you probably are. We had to get all synced up so the three of us are in sync. We don't know how far behind we are from you guys. So if you are put in the chat, there's a goal. I'm going to try and ignore it if I possibly can. And not to be fair, I think we're doing it 6 minutes 15, 6 minutes 10 seconds. Bayern Munich got a little bit of a break now. It's been very cagey, I think, at the moment is the best way to describe it. I don't know whether these two would agree with me, but it's just kind of been playing it. We've had a couple of little breaks. Leon maybe not sharp enough yet, but I don't think there's been too much in the game so far from what I can see.
Yeah, more slotted back now. I think more slotted.
Sort of testing each other out, aren't they?
Yeah.
Offside there for Bayern. So
putting the feelers out.
It's going to happen. No real major attacks, no shots on goal, but certainly going down the wings and getting a bit of an attack in on both sides there. So yeah, going to be interesting.
No,
very well. Ahead of yours.
And Dev, you are right. It's because we had to try and sync ourselves up to the three of it, because otherwise it will, one of us shouts goal or whatever else. And John, I'm just ignoring that. Hello to everyone in the comments. I can see a couple more people that have joined. Let's go back onto that discussion because I don't know. I don't think Charlie. I know you said about your chocolate buttons. Someone's put there. Hang on, I've lost the comments now. What's Vincent saying? Of course, it's going to be Pepsi Max now, isn't it? I'm going to hear that all night. Chris trying pie. Has anyone just very brief? Has anyone had the pies at Old Trafford? How hot they are!
Oh, Christ. And you don't get any implement in which to eat it with. So it's like you're doing this with a foil, like trying to. Yeah, it's tough. I once had a hot dog. And it's basically like eating cling film injected with water. Honestly, looks like a hot dog, smells like a hot dog, is just water. You bite it and it goes.
Heineken and crisps can't go wrong with that. What's John saying? Lager at the ground, sometimes a sausage roll, but certainly a chocolate.
I don't say lager. He likes to have a larger. He supersizes everything.
He did correct himself further down.
The jumbo sausage roll.
And hello to the big boss, Ben Pierce. I think it's Ben anyway, from the All for Night Men's account. Make sure you go and check out the Casemiro video that's gone out over there as well, because the men's side are making signings as well, which is also good to see.
Yeah, it's brilliant. They can pull those out of their arse when things are getting. Yeah, no comment.
Big point there.
Exactly. So we it's probably about a minute and a half. Yeah, 2 minutes maybe.
Absolutely, definitely be YouTube. There's always a bit of a delay.
Everyone needs to pause their stream for 90 seconds. Everyone else.
Indeed. What's everyone saying here? I love the pies. I'll go to snack Coke Zero and a bar of Dairy Milk. Everyone likes chocolate. Personally, I just can't eat.
Everyone likes Coke as well. Everyone drinks Coke. I don't get it. I want to know what everyone's favourite squash is. Love a squash. Love a cherries and berries. Never eat the paninis.
And this is the Manchester United watch along.
That's the issue.
Indeed, Barry. This is a Manchester United watch along with a twist. I think tonight's show it's going to be about
a fancy twist.
It's going to be about 2 hours. You get to see what we're like on a match day, talking about whatever it is, talking about the game, talking about other things as well. So you get to see a different side to it. So if you want to know something, drop some questions in the chat. We will answer, within reason, we will answer the questions as we go while we react to what's happening in the game as well. And there was a comment about that one there. We know Zelem was playing a bit deeper than more. What do you think about that? My very, very brief thoughts. I'm a little bit surprised, personally. I would have expected to see Zelem a little bit
Yeah,
higher.
do you know what, though? It looks like it looks like Zelem's playing deeper when they're on the attack, but the couple of times that Bayern have gone on the attack, it looks like Moore drops deeper very, very quickly. I imagine she's having to work quite hard if that's what they're doing. So she's breaking up play further up the pitch and then having to get back quick to sit in.
Which makes sense because you can get more to do that, like you say, do the closing down. But we think about how Zelem, got her goal on Tuesday. It was literally just that, wasn't it? Waiting back.
What a goal that was.
In the possession. I thought it was brilliant. Do you think the goalkeeper should have saved that, Charlie? I'd like to ask a sensible.
You know what? It's an interesting one. I think because of how she hit it with the outside of her boot, it looks like the ball swerves very late on as well. Like you can see it sort of swerving to the right as if she's facing it, and then all of a sudden, I don't think she's expecting her to make that shot either. I think she's expecting her to put her laces through it, and she doesn't. She more places it, doesn't she?
Yeah,
I didn't like the way that Munich player just went through the back of Leon there. That was a little bit harsh.
I know. It's put your hands with you.
Yes, Maya.
Maya Wallowan. Do you know what's better about that? It's not the tackle. The tackle's great. It's the awareness, I think, to get back in there. That's great on that one. I brought this comment up because is that a spelling error?
I think he means smuggle. He can't mean smoke. Surely he's not expecting us to just light up outside Old Trafford.
Manchester United corner. Played on the left-hand side, crossed in. Who was that put the ball in? It's showing a replay of that awareness from Maya. That's why I think when we did the show on Maya and I said she can play centre back, that's why.
Because I was sure she was going to get that as well. I wasn't worried that was going to be a bringing her down or I don't know what it is. I just feel confident about her. What helps is every fans of other teams are livid that we've got her, like a fuming.
She's good. I like that.
Maria and Maya having a little chatty chat.
Yeah, so it's a Manchester United corner at the moment. I'm going to ignore the comments. Whenever we get a set piece high up, I'm just going to ignore the comments just in case there is a goal coming.
So a corner.
Oh,
yeah,
was
that Maya again at the front post trying to get ahead on that one? I think it was, wasn't it? It's gone out for a Bayern goal kick. There's a question here for us that we'll get to now. So, favourite player and have you watched the Euros? So, I think Charlie ticked off probably more Euros games than a lot of people. We'll answer the first one. I think, yes, we all watched the Euros. In terms of favourite player, is that for a current? Should we do it too for a current club and in general? Should we do that? If we go around the house on that one.
What, like favourite current United player for women and then favourite ever United women's player, or just favourite United player and then favourite any women's player?
Yeah, favourite for any club then.
Well, my answer's going to be the same one then because I can't have I think Sam Kerr's the best player, but she's not my favourite player. I think I will go. I've always absolutely loved Leah Galton. Always. I think she's from the start. She's been a bit special. There's others that are in and amongst it. I really like Katie Zelem. I think she's underappreciated. Always had a bit of a soft spot for Mary Earps. I was really glad when we originally signed her. I know lots of people weren't maybe so pleased, but I thought she was a really good replacement. And look at what's happened.
Another corner here.
A corner. She's going to score from a corner.
There's a free header that for I think it was Lucia. Unfortunate not to get it was a little bit too high for it, to be fair.
Go on.
Someone needs to make a tackle here.
Come on out. Yeah.
She's done well though there. She stopped it slow.
That's
good work from Parris. Good work from Parris.
Brilliant. First principle of defence. Delay them. Stop them from being able to do the attack so that everyone else can get into formation. Didn't dive into the challenge. Brilliant.
Leah Golson's always been one from the very start that I've loved. Katie, I don't know. I like someone who works hard. I like someone who works really hard, but is also good. Like I would work really hard, that'd be crap. But yeah, Golson. Like if we could sign anyone, I'd want Sam Kerr.
See,
that's who I'd want.
I think you might notice a theme here because like my favourite play. It's weird with United because I don't necessarily have Just waiting to see what happened there. But I don't really have an out-and-out favourite. I think Alessia Russo, just because I think she's that good, I guess, is a natural favourite for me. But if you're going for a favourite player in terms of non-United, I say it every time. I think I could possibly Guru Wrighton for me for Chelsea. What I'd do to get, try and convince her to try and join United. But I don't think that's going to happen. But she's out of contract, I think, either next summer or the summer after. So potentially. One there, but yeah, I think Guru Wrighton and Alessia Russo for me, if you're talking two players there. What about yourself, Barry?
Well, before I started coming to watch live, it was Tooney. Tooney was me top dog. And I've changed that now to Russo. So, yeah, I'm stuck between the two of them at the minute. But yeah, Tooney and Russo, they're my two. From whatever club, I don't really care. If I
saw that late, I think, because it just dipped over the Bayern player.
She weren't the only one.
I was going to say, Charlotte, do you want to explain what just happened there?
Crossing. Maria Forzotta did really well, actually. Kept the Barcelona winger out, and then they played it just from the right of the edge of the box. It looked like Maya or someone got bundled over a bit, and then the ball, no one touched it, actually. It didn't come off anyone, but Sophie had to make a quick manoeuvre to palm it away, and she palmed it out for a corner, which is good. She didn't just parry it into the box where there were players waiting.
And that was the thing, she had to wait just in case the player did get their head on it. But the corner comes in. Oh, well, she's got it away. That's the important thing. It's back out on the left front. In comes the cross. Get it out. Oh my Gideon.
A little bit scruffy, but
Connor, just pop Deb's comment up again there. So to put that in a bit of context, I was with Deborah. I was very, very very proud and privileged to be in her presence for this Dutch walk. And it turns out, Viva España, you can sing to anything. Literally anything. It goes with any chant, particularly the Dutch ones, and you can do this. You can do a smug little march to it. Loads of fun. You'll try it.
Shall I see if I can get that video of you actually doing that dance? I can't remember who took it. It might have been Ian.
You're telling me you can put any chant with Viva España?
Viva España. I can't remember what the Dutch songs were. I'm sure I've got it on a video. I'm not
You're saying you can put any chant to that? Any chant?
Loads of Euro pop electro house you can, Badder. Come on. Well, the 4 or 5 songs that we were listening to. It was very good.
100%. Some good shouts there. Okay. Ingrid Engen.
Back on her.
Oh. Cool. Did anybody else's MUTV do a double take then?
Yeah. Paris just tackled that player twice.
She's that good. She does it twice.
She was that good. She played the pass and then did it again before the ball came back to her.
See, on that phase of play there, I thought we got a bit lucky because if you have a look where the Bayern player was on the edge of the box, she's in acres of space there. If she just looks up, she makes that pass to the edge there. She's in. So Mickey, I can see Mickey's comment. I'm just, not that I don't believe you, Mickey, but I'm just loading up Twitter to...
In fact, it's on the United app. Casemiro is a Manchester United player. Which is great news, but, I'm busy. Could have waited.
No, it's a very good sign. And I think if you want reaction to that, go over to the United men's account.
Get it.
Reaction on that one.
Wow, good header.
That's...
Who was on the line there? Who headed that away? Was it Hannah?
I think it was Hannah. Where the left back should be.
I agree with Deborah's comment. I think Bayern are just starting to turn the screw a little bit. That if that was the other way around, I'd want that shot to be on target.
It wasn't Connor, so woohoo!
But Bayern are starting to up the pressure a little bit, which they're always going to do. There's going to be phases in this game where we're going to be under pressure. Bayern are one of the best in Europe for a reason.
But he still wants us to play it out from the back. Look, that's clearly what he's working on, isn't it?
Very high pressing from the Bayern fair centre half there.
But it is. Like, people always talk about playing out from the back is risky. Like, people don't like it, do they? But I suppose the whole point of it is if you can do it well, and he's trying to practice it against a top, like an elite side, if you play those initial passes well and the team is pressing you and you're playing out from the back, you should be able to take out numerous of the opposition with individual passes if you do it well enough. And that's clearly what he's trying to practice here.
The good thing is, though, this is the match where potentially we're going to get a little bit more of a test. You know, PSG weren't really getting into these positions as much. I mean, I said they did a little bit between sort of half time and the goal, but yeah, it's a good, very good test at the minute, and we're 20 minutes in, and you know, still 0-0, and that's the important thing. You will get the chance to ride your luck, but not very many times, so we'll have to be careful. We are starting to try and push back a bit now.
Yeah, Mickey's raised a good point there. That's Bayern let you into a false sense of comfort, and then they hit. A lot of big teams and a lot of good teams will be able to do that very well.
They can just crank it up a gear, can't they? They can just work through the gears really quickly all of a sudden.
Yeah, and you don't need to say that twice, Anton, especially with the men's side, as we found out.
Fantastic at it.
I did say, if you're good at it, this is what should happen.
Indeed. And thank you very much. Yes, we have hit 700, which is absolutely fantastic. Yes.
United, left-hand side. In it goes. And
it's kept alive. It's a little bit of a scramble, but it's pretty easy.
Oh, go on, go. Good header back in from Leon. Cross.
Nobody. I think Moore just panicked a little bit there. You get into a good area at the byline, you want to cut it back and just hit it. It looked a little bit like a hit and hope, just hoping that the striker's going to be there, but it was Leon that gave her the ball.
But good little passage of play, though, there, because we've been under pressure.
Yeah, and brilliant ball control. Took it down with the right,
Leon.
The left, and then Moore just whipped it across the front, but there was nobody there to toe poke that in.
It'll be interesting seeing how we utilise Moore, to be honest, because obviously I don't remember away at West Ham is the only game I can remember her actually featuring. So
I don't mind that. It's a good little professional foul there.
I was intrigued though as to why it is that Moore's been chosen. Specifically in the midfield. I know we're trying to get minutes in for everybody, so you know, presumably one of the others played in the game against Liverpool, maybe.
Lad's on the bench though. He's on the bench.
Exactly. On the bench, you would have thought maybe that would have been an option. So yeah, it's interesting to see more. We really, like we say, didn't have too many chances last season. You know, it's nice, like we say, seeing how they're getting on. We've always got the substitutions if we want to bring them on. I assume we can bring on as many as we like with it being a friendly.
Yes. Yeah, because usually you see a couple of sets of teams. It doesn't look like we're doing that in this tournament, but I'd expect when we play Everton next Sunday that we'll be fully rotating.
This is the back four, isn't it? This is the back four.
Yeah, I think there was a comment earlier on talking about our predicted lineup for Spurs.
There's Luke. Is it Luke?
Yeah. Yes. Luke, welcome back to the channel, Luke. I know you're looking forward to that game as well, but I think it really depends on fitness because there's a long time between now and the start of the season. But I think we're all pretty agreed that this is probably going to be the back four, judging by that Klara has only just joined up with the squad. She's playing around on the edge of the box at the moment.
Yeah, she's got good feet there. Just can't get the ball in.
More again. Back to Moore again. Right idea. That's what surprised me so far in this game, how high Moore pushes forward. She's right up. She's ahead of everybody there.
They're not expecting it, Bayern, are they? Bayern aren't expecting that.
Well, I'd like to see more of it.
See, Jackie wanted the ball deeper there. Jackie was unmarked on the edge of the 6 yard, I think. And maybe a player that usually plays the sort of role that Moore's playing might see that, would probably maybe take a look up and see that, wouldn't they?
100%. And just speaking of seeing more of, we'll let this attack play out, and I'm going to come to a question in the comments in a second. About 35, just 25 minutes in, Garcia's out on the left at the moment. And we've just lost possession. But talking to seeing more of, the question here, can we see you guys more on the men's channel? You may see a couple of us.
That's a good ball.
We're not
takes it to the left.
No. Is that Maya again showing it? She's been fantastic so far. It's the simple things,
Good.
just showing her out
Just
wide.
slowed it down, didn't she? Hustled her out of the box.
Yep, defended well. Like I say, pushed to the edge of the area, but the ball wasn't as good as it could have been. I think a nice through ball on the floor would have caused a few more problems there.
No, 100%. Just very briefly back to this question. You might see some of us on Monday. We can appear on both, so you might see some more of us over the next few weeks. But Monday, keep an eye out for the show on All for United for that one as well. Yeah, Maya Sissio's great. But she's just been solid for me so far. I think she's showing what the fact that she plays as a right back predominantly. The positions are quite different, playing centre back and playing right back.
Absolutely.
And
She's only 20. She's only 20.
That's great. That makes me feel old.
Like you look at the younger players, like you look at the youth, the younger players we've got. It's just ridiculous. What is it? Her, Honor, Russo, Tooney, all early 20s. Millie's only 25, isn't she? Millie Turner.
Yeah, she's not too old.
Garcia.
So, I mean, it's quite a young side all told.
Do you know, when it first was announced that we were getting Leon, we talked about it, didn't we? I was just a bit sceptical because she was just a bit nothing at West Ham. But I've been so impressed by her.
In answer to your question, Hannah, so it's on MU. We're watching it on MU TV, but I think it is being streamed on a French outlet as well, and I think it's also being shown in the States. TJ might be able to help with that one, but from a UK and an Ireland point of view, MU TV is being streamed on. Yeah, Mark talking about that, because in reply to Vincent, not comment there, talking about hearing Nat in the background of the songs, and also Shane and Ian as well. They were still there over in down in Toulouse, singing their hearts out.
Taking any fans really to go and do that. Shane and Ian, we know, have done both of the games as well. And I think we've got, as we said, somebody's popping on at half time. Mark, who was there as well on Tuesday, so he'll be able to give us a good idea as to what it's like over there from a fan's point of view, which would be pretty cool.
Indeed, I can't wait for that chat because I just want to know what it was. I just want to get back watching a game again. That's why I'm glad I'm doing this with these two. Like I said, you'll see Mark at half time. For people who don't, have just started watching the channel, and I'm half ignoring this Bayern attack while I say
that ball went out there.
Ball went out.
It's a good save by Bagley anyway, but the ball had gone out. But that's why we thought, obviously, it was Barry's idea to do this show in the end. But it was, you see the three of us at games, if you come and say hello to us if you haven't already. But it'll be people like the South, obviously the Barmy Army, the supporters club, and things like that. We all stand, and this is what it's like at games. We just have a chat talking about the football, and it is great fun. So, like I've just put in the chat as well, get you any questions in. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the game that we're currently watching, because, like I said, it is a different type of show tonight. There's not really a structure to this one. Same age as me. Same age as me.
Do him.
Living on the edge a little bit there, but we sort of got away with it. We're just giving it away a bit.
I thought you were going to break into a song there, Barry.
What song would you like?
I was thinking the edge. What's the song called? I was thinking, I'm on the edge of glory. What's that song called?
I'm on the edge.
Literally that, edge of glory.
Lady Gaga. Don't pretend you don't know.
How do you know those words of the song and not know that's the title?
Dear me.
What's that song about the yellow submarine?
Basil, what would be your karaoke song?
Wow. Now it's interesting you should mention this because I have two, depending on the mood. If I'm going for sort of a chilled, laid-back vibe, then we give it a little bit of Mac the Knife. And if I'm going for a bit more upbeat, then it's Summer of '69.
That's nice. I like a bit of Cher.
I like to share as well. What song would you like to sing?
No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing. I love a bit of Cher action. Also love a little bit of Celine Dion. Do quite like a power ballad.
Nice.
See, I'm expecting
Our Love.
Yes, I like that. Seymour just absolutely haul her over. Brilliant. But that's good because they're giving Jackie a bit of a battering, I think, Bayern.
It's been a fairly even game so far.
Honor's so good with the ball at her feet.
I can't think of it. Do you remember? How does it go? I'm loving. It's not quite.
Do you know?
Oh, Mickey, Brian Adams, yes.
And yes, Summer of '69 in there. Is it Under Pressure? John's saying here.
That's a very good song, and it's what we are at the minute.
There we go.
Get rid of it. You haven't told us what your song
going for it here, Bayern. Look how they're pressing now.
You know what? I didn't answer it, Barry, because I have never done a karaoke, and you do not want to hear me sing either.
Well, I wanted to hear you sing, but if you were going to murder a song, which one would you murder?
Do you know? See, I was always brought up around rock music, like your Iron Maidens, Metallica's, Status Quo's, and that kind of thing. So
never heard of them. Who?
Oh, here we go. So I'd love a bit of that, but if I was going to go for maybe Elvis, I love a bit of Elvis. So
nice.
Thank you, Granddad.
I've been known to do that. Suspicious Minds.
That's a banging song, though,
isn't it? Caught in a trap. Offside usually.
Look at United trying to press this here though. Go on.
What
out then? But when we do that, their number 17 is just.
Oh, go on, Thor.
Oh,
see, now people do really have a go sometimes, but that was brilliant. If she hadn't got her foot in the way there and kept the ball away from that Munich player who I don't know, then that'd have been through, and that would have been. I do
like Thor, but she either does that or she'll kick it in her own face. Like it's one or the other, isn't it?
I think that's.
Look at Deb. There's Deb's karaoke.
So I just sing "Ooh Ah Klara."
Oh, Klara.
See, I still think that fits as well. That's the song I'll be singing.
Desperate to sing that at the ground.
That's a good song as well. And Mark knows Status Quo Down. That's such a good song.
Down, deeper and down.
Yeah, I like that one. Karen, actually, question. Yes, we all do, but we kind of watch it with our hands kind of in our heads, just covering our eyes, I think, at the moment, watching the men's side at the moment. But yes,
I don't watch the men's football with as much hope as I watch the women's football. At the moment, I see the men's football a little bit like a penance that you have to pay for being a Man United fan currently, and for all the glory that we've had. But
it's like punishment at the moment, isn't it?
Exactly. Whereas this one is far more pleasurable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as people are saying in the comments as well, fine, I'll start to turn the screw against a good shot. That's just over the bar from the edge of the box.
I don't know. Do you reckon Bags had that covered? I'm not convinced. I think there's a little bit of space for a ball.
Nah. She had it covered.
Out, Charlie. Let's have a look.
Nah, she's fine. Look at her. Sorted.
So you're talking that's a very good hit. So just slightly to the right of the edge of the box there, just inside the box as she took it in.
Can I ask a question?
Over the far right.
Can I ask a question? If that's on target, just under the crossbar, does she reach that?
That's what I just said.
But no.
Do you think Bags has got that covered? Yeah, all day long.
No, by the way, because I think she saw it and she made to make the save. But regardless of if she knows what's going to happen, does she save it? Is she tall enough? Does she save that?
I think if it's postage stamp, no.
No, 100%.
It wasn't.
And Deb, you are right. Some press going to. Are you two going? Are you and Mark going on Monday, or? It's
down the right again.
Honor!
Come in, go on. Turn, Jackie. Oh.
There's a question for you, and Sang's going to not going to like this one very much. Just let this attack play out. Maya's played a good
ball. It's a great ball. What a save! Got the rebound though, and Thor's there again. Go on, Thor!
Give me the hammer.
Do you want to explain what just happened there, Barry?
I beg your pardon?
I said, do you want to explain what just happened there in that attack?
Okay, so we nearly conceded, but we didn't. Ball came in from the left. Brilliant shot. Good save by the left-footed Bagley. She had it covered. Little slip. Second shot, though. And Thor just went, no! And hits it out. Now it's a corner.
But also, look at Letiz there. Letizier's got back onto the line as well. Look how quickly, look. Her and Thor getting back there.
They've got good shape.
We're pushing a lot of players forward. So when Bayern play that ball over the top, we do look a little bit in trouble. But those two centre-backs are doing a good job here.
Right, here comes the corner.
Good luck to you, Deb. Mark on that one.
Wait for the punch on the penalty spot. Go on, Keats.
Did she punch that?
Nice little ball. Oh, she fell.
Come on, referee. That's
So
2 or
we've got
3 of
free
those
kick
now.
here. Yeah, for the foul on Parris.
Now, if she did punch that away, that was a very good clearance by Bagley. It looked like it hit the bar on my screen, but I was kind of...
No, she punched it. She punched it away. Double.
Double punch.
Have you noticed, though, the last couple of set pieces, it's been straight on Bagley? They know what they're doing. When
Oh, yeah. That's why I asked the question about that. That's why I asked.
This doesn't look good for Parris, who's currently down at the moment receiving treatment.
Well, it could just be a bit of winding because she went straight into the player.
It's a nice little bit of skill here that's just being shown in the replay.
Oh!
Yeah,
Nutmegs, look at that.
how's your luck?
While Parris is down getting some treatment, I'm going to ask the question I was going to ask you. Like I said, Sang, hold your breath here. We all are going to agree here that Honor is the best fullback in the league. Is she the best defender in the league right now?
Honor?
Yes. Overall package as a defender. Now, obviously, you could like Leah Williamson, obviously had a good year, Millie Bright as well. Is Honor the best?
We've had this conversation before. I don't like this sort of question because they're different jobs. You know, what you do as a fullback, you don't do as a centre-back.
Maya will tell you that.
They're very different. Well, exactly. They're very different roles. As a centre-back, you might be expected to sort of wait behind. It looks like she got caught to the bottom of the chin there and all. That was a bit naughty.
Dirty, that one.
But she's up now and she's having a go at the refs. That's all good.
And that is what the player did.
Absolutely.
That's an interesting point. Honor is great on, I'm assuming that's defence, not the best on attack as a fullback. I completely disagree with that, TJ. I've got to be honest.
Honestly, Marty, that's the worst take you've given her so far.
Honor's the best fullback in the league. Leah will be the best centre back in the league. I wouldn't disagree with that. I think Millie Bright might have something to say in it though.
Although
no defender is better in the box than Millie Bright, I don't think.
Just going back to what TJ said there, though, I don't think he's saying that she's poor in attack. I think she's just saying that, you know, not necessarily the number one in attack.
I thought you would, Sam. I thought you would.
What do you disagree with, Sam? Do you disagree with me? Do you disagree with the fact that Chelsea aren't going to win the league this year?
Give over.
Or do you just disagree with the fact that Charlie's got enough hair to sort our hairline score out today? What is it? I don't know.
What is the hairline?
This is actually just a toupee. I can pick it straight off as soon as the camera's off.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's a Sven Goran Eriksson job.
So Nikita Parris is drinking a blue wicked at the moment.
Fishbowl.
I miss those.
I completely agree with that. Every WSL team wants on it.
100%.
There you go, Barry. Marty is in the chat. There we go.
So much. There was a New York accent. What else was there? Lots of talk on snacks. Charlie, please no 2020. He's not wrong.
Come on.
So Parris has received treatment. She looks okay and is back on. And the game is just coming up to half time now, so we're about the 39-minute mark.
That's right.
Well, Lanzo's asked a good question about midfield.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's surprising.
I like the Jackie Zelem. I like the Jackie Zelem.
Yeah, go on, Keats.
That works.
Nice little run. She's got Leon ahead of her, but it's not the best of numbers. Yeah, really. Well, the pass wasn't really on, was it? There was three players there, and we couldn't quite get into the space, so she couldn't really do much more other than to wait for Leon to come to the right, which he did. But by that point, the tackle had come in. So,
just watching this Bayern attack play out, Lanza, and then we'll come back to your comments. So the cross has just come into the far side. Bayern Munich on the left-hand side of the box at the moment. Zelem composure, a little bit too much composure for my liking. Just get rid of that.
No, she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. She had it all sorted.
I'm never a fan of that.
It's fine.
But just very briefly, while we're just watching Bayern pass it around the midfield at the moment, thoughts on the midfield and the connection. Today I'm actually liking Destroyer like Jade in there. Yeah, I'd agree. Like I said, it's took me by surprise a little bit how high she is on the attacks, but You have got Zelem in the middle, Jade's the right of the three, and Jackie's the left of the three, which is very interesting. All of those are in the different order to what I would put.
But as you said, I think with Jade working back in the way that she is, and being like that, midfield maestro and engine, really getting box to box, it's really working. The ball in there, nice block.
Good work.
Zelem again.
Zelem's composure in the box is it's unbelievable.
Well, this is it. You see, this is what she does.
Fine, just passing around and Honor's composed there.
There off she goes. Go on.
Here we go. This is Honor on attack.
Oh, go on.
Pretty good.
The referee's top is too pale. I keep thinking it's a United player. Oh!
Go, Leon. Oh,
Nice little cut back. She's done a little bit
Shoot!
too much.
Cross on a cross.
Honor on the right hand side puts a little cross and it's blocked. And Bayern Munich.
I feel like Bayern have got 18 players on the pitch.
I feel that way. But isn't that a compliment? They seem to have so many in defence against us. They must know that our attack is good.
Leon's on fire. Your defence is terrified. Issy, I love that song as well. Easy transferable.
Do you know, Charlie, every time you blend into your backgrounds, you just kind of get cut off and it's just your head. It reminds me of the Harry Potter Invisible Cloak.
Oh, I love Harry Potter. Look.
Who doesn't? It's magical.
It is one of the best films out there, to be fair.
You see, I've read the books as well.
Go on.
Question for you there, Charlie.
I'm lucky there down the right, went out there with Leon.
Ollie.
She did all the right thing, cut inside, but then just couldn't quite get the pass off.
I think the really difficult thing about when you play teams like those is, yeah, I agree. I feel like we need a bit of a destroyer in there when we play them, but then we lose something really important in attack. It's a really fine line, isn't it? It's really difficult. I would say we need a bit of a destroyer in there, just giving people a bit of a kick in, to be honest. And Jade Moore might be better at that than Hayley Ladd, to be fair.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's a nice little flick, taking Moore out of the game. Honor's out of position as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, Bagley. Oh,
Howler.
no. Oh, no.
Right between the legs. That is unfortunate.
So
Does someone want to explain how that goal's gone in? I don't think I can even.
You're going to be gutted, isn't she? The ball from the halfway line into the left. Lovely little flick on down the left there. Number 17 runs into the box, cuts inside. And before Honor could regain her composure, shoots straight down the middle. You'd expect Bags to pick that up 99 out of 100.
Yeah, get your body behind it.
This was that 1 out of 100, and it's gone straight through the legs. Hit the left leg and bounced into the goal. That's just... Can't legislate for that. That's a goal given away. Although it does still say 0-0 on the scoreline, so it's a bit like being at Reading. Oh, there we go.
Deb's very right there. Pulled a hair, unfortunately.
Yes.
Quality striker of the ball, I agree, but for me, you'd want your keeper saving that, wouldn't you? I know I call out the keepers a hell of a lot on this, but yeah, it's and Mark will be with us very shortly once this game hits half time. Which is in about a minute time.
Just imagine he's just got the cat on. Poorish.
Poorish. Not just poor, not poorish.
I think I know what he means. It's one of those, isn't it? It's just a mistake. It happens.
Exactly. Lanzo, you're exactly right. It's an error. We'll see. At the end of the day, obviously, this is pre-season. I'd rather they do this now and get this out of the way. I think the only concern would be what Deb put in the chat about 5 minutes ago, that we look a little bit slow. We look a little bit tired, and that would be a worry if that is true. I don't think we fully are, but if that is, I'd be a little bit concerned.
Just seeing the replay again. I think she wasn't sure whether to use her hand or her leg on that one. It just sort of, that's a real bugger, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, people thought we were going to get trounced 11-12-0 though, didn't they? Still could happen.
But you know what? We had the game against PSG and we won 1-0 having taken the lead. Now we've got a different type of test. We've got to find a way to get through the defence. The good thing is it's happened just before halftime, because I think that's going to give Mark the chance to make any changes that you
Oh.
might want to think. Yeah,
That's poor playing out from the back.
Yeah.
Meyer's there again. It's every single time. Meyer is there covering the ball.
But yeah, so I think Mark might potentially make a couple of changes and, just give him a chance to reset, because we've not been poor. But, as I said about 30 minutes ago, if we carry on like that, then one of these chances might go in, and it did.
No, 100%. And Vincent, I see your comment. I just brought it up a second ago, making us nervous to see us in the Champions League. I wouldn't be nervous. It's a very good Bayern side. Remember, we're missing our starting keeper, our starting attacking midfielder, and our starting striker is one of the best in Europe right now. I wouldn't be too.
And Vincent, you've got a whole year to get over it.
Exactly. We're not even in the Champions League next season, so we've got another year to work on our craft, so to speak. Half time's approaching the next 10 seconds or so.
In fact, for those watching on YouTube, it's probably already gone.
In fact, it probably already is half time right now. But
Yes, Lanzell. True.
Indeed. We'll be doing a couple more shows on mine, I'm sure, before the start of the window. Right, that is half time. Bayern Munich 1, Manchester United 0. We're still in the game. That's the key point for me. I'm going to put the ticker on the bottom while we bring in our guest for half time. First, thanks, Mark, for joining.
No problem. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
That's a great. That's as far as my French goes, to be fair.
I relied on Debs the whole time. She did the translating for me.
That's the best way to start.
And a coffee. That was it. I was done after that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to do that, to be honest. Lanza, I can see your comment. I'll come to that in a second. But Mark, I want to come to you first in terms of just what it was like. Obviously, you were there on Tuesday in Toulouse, so obviously was there a couple of days as well. What it was like in and around, obviously, the ground, watching the girls, being back watching United as well, I guess, was the main thing there.
Yeah, it was slightly weird because we all most of us decided to go and watch the Barca Bayern game. So we got to the ground, we put the flag up, and then we realised we've still got the best part of nearly 3 hours until the game even kicks off. So we just sat and we had a chat. You've seen by the photo, Steve-O partook in a few beers, which would have been rude if he didn't, let's be honest. And then once the Barca Bayern game finished, we realised that United were playing and the team news came out and we're all straight back into the swing of things. Hi, Lanzel. And then it was basically we came out for the warm-ups and we just went back into normal mode, start singing and everything. It was very difficult because we were clearly outnumbered as fans there. There was a group of us on the back row. Nat was roaming around doing what Nat does best. And that was it. There was a little pocket of United fans, but it was great to be there. It really was. I'm a bit upset I can't be there today, but work gets in the way of things and we've got to make out that you've got to do the right thing. But I would love to be there. I know Shane and Ian are still out there. We've been in contact with them today, and they're doing their stuff. And yeah,
no, that's a good point. Actually, go on.
I just wanted to ask. You're an OG, obviously. You've been with the team since the inception, I believe. And is that the first time that we've played a continental team as such, especially?
No. So in 2019, we played in Norway. We played Vålerenga, I think. Vålerenga. We played Vålerenga, and we got beat. It wasn't nice to watch. It was pretty embarrassing game, to be fair. But it was also the Women's World Cup, I think, that year because we just signed Jackie. It was either the Women's World Cup or the Euros, and we had no one in the team. There was no goalkeeper. Mary Earps had just signed for us, but she wasn't actually in the squad yet. Rambo was playing. We had, at one point, Kirsty Hansen and Leah playing as centre-backs. Molly Green was all over the pitch. And we didn't really have anything. So, yeah, it's the first time in 3 years we've been away.
No interest. I was just going to very quickly say before, because you mentioned Shane and Ian, make sure you're following the Supporters Club Twitter right now, by the way, because there's some videos and some also stuff over there from people who are actually there right now. So make sure you're following that to see some of the stuff on there. What have you made of the game so far, then, Mark? We'll get into the game very briefly while we're talking about that. What have you made of it so far?
I mean, I've been watching both. I've been watching you guys, and I've been watching this. And I think what for me stands out by far, and I know Charlie hit on it before, is how fit Honor is. Considering she was probably one of the last few to come back into pre-season, she looks the fittest out of the bunch. And the fact she played 90 minutes on Tuesday. Potentially, she's going to play another 90 minutes tonight. We know she played against Liverpool because she was seen in the photographs. I mean, she looks just a beast right now. She looked on it.
Yeah.
And I think the game's good. What I'm liking is the fluidity of the front three, the swapping sides. And last season, we didn't have that probably enough. I'm like Adriana Leon, Lucia Garcia. I think she needs time to fit in. And I think on Tuesday she was... she came on, she changed the game. I think the game was eking out to a 0-0 penalty ball, as I said at the game. But the game tonight is being played at a different pace. But also, as you've been saying, Connor, throughout, it's pre-season. Bayern have put out a very, very strong side. And as Mark's going to say to us on Tuesday night, he's still got 7 or 8 players to come back into this team. And that's a scary thought right now. But Bagley, up until the mistake, I think she's been pretty solid. I really have. I like the look of Maya. I think she's been solid. Hannah, she's as solid as she comes. And I think the midfield and the front three are playing really well. So I've enjoyed the game so far. I just think what we're lacking, and it's something that I know we always talk about, is that lethal, someone in the box. I think with the Parris cross, about 30 minutes into the first half, if Leslie was in the middle, that was the goal. I really think that. I think we're just lacking a striker right now. And that, as soon as Leslie's back into the team, I think we'll see it.
No, 100%. Sang, you just put... Speaking of scary thoughts, that's a scary thought. I don't want Honor anywhere near Chelsea. Chelsea's team's already good enough. You don't need any more players. And Lanza's talking there about Clinton's cameo as well. I thought she was excellent. For her age, I came on... I couldn't quite believe it. Obviously you hear things, good player and that kind of thing, but with youngsters, you've got to be careful. I thought she was outstanding. I don't know whether Mark the other night
she was. I think all the players he brought on Tuesday, they all changed the game. They really did. I thought Grace Clinton, she got stuck in. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing more of her. Lucia Garcia, for me, what she did for the ball to Zelem was great. But, I mean... The players we always talk about, that, I know Mark spoke glowingly about Zelem, and I understand why. And I know a lot of people don't like her, but she just controls the pitch. She controls it, and all the players, they've clearly got that respect for her. And I think Katie this season is going to be integral to where we're going to end up.
It's worked for me, that midfield. Obviously, we were speaking about... Were you surprised that, I guess, that midfield, Jade Moore's the right of the three and Zelem's the central one?
Yeah, yes, I am in a way. I think I expected Jade Moore to do the Hayley Ladd role, just sit, protect the back four. I know there's a lot of people out there who have worries about Maria Thoris-Dottir at centre-back. And, I think she's got a mistake in her, but, name me a centre-back that probably hasn't got a mistake in her. But, no, Shane's just sent a message through saying, she's the furthest forward at that some points. And I'm enjoying I think that's great, because I think sometimes we lack the midfield runner to coming through. So hopefully we can see more of that during the season. 3 weeks away. Let's see how it goes.
No, 100%. Comment here. How come no Russo? I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I just assume that she's come late back and she's probably not up to the fitness that maybe Tooney is.
I mean, I know the England girls all came back on Monday. I think Nikita might have come back a little bit earlier than Tooney, Leslie, and Mary. But I don't know for certain.
No, 100%.
I also just thinking about it, Nikita really didn't play a lot in the Euros. I think he's trying to give Mary, Tooney, and Leslie more time to just relax.
And let's be honest, he doesn't need to check how they can play, does he? Because we know what Russo can do, we know what Tooney can do, we know what Earps can do. Whereas actually Jade Moore, we haven't.
I'm sorry. This comment is genius. I've never thought about
Hang on a minute.
that.
Come over a bit, Mark. I mean, Daddy.
Yeah, never thought of it. We shouldn't stand. I'll have to borrow Charlie's toupee. I think maybe next time.
Maybe. Well, I don't know what to say about that. That's a bit harsh.
I can't remember what the original question was now.
That's what we were saying, weren't we? We know how the England girls can play because they've been integral to our team for the last couple of years. So, it's not something we really need to see. Whereas Jade Moore, obviously, we haven't seen too much of. The new girls, we haven't seen too much of. So, it's sensible, I think, really.
No,
Seriously, am I the only professional here? Do I need to send you two?
I'm with you, Gary. I'm with you. I think you're right. He doesn't need to see. I think
Send him to the back. He's been a naughty boy.
Right, Connor's been a naughty boy.
He's
right.
kicking me out.
You're right. We don't need to see what Leslie Tooney and Earps can do. I think we need to see the fringe players. But what's also refreshing for me is that how happy the whole squad looks. This isn't just a pre-season couple of games away. This is a bonding for them all. On Wednesday we were walking around Toulouse Centre and the team were out and about, but the security, we saw the security in a bar. So, they were doing their thing and the girls were doing, just going sightseeing and things like that. And it was great to see because, at one point, Mill and some of the others, they were in a cake shop having cake and coffee. Then you saw the older lots in a pizzeria. And we were just sat, we were sat around and we were just, we were all in a bar, all soft drinks, all soft drinks. And it was great to see there was just this real team bonding going on. And, the football, what we saw on Tuesday and what we're seeing tonight is irrelevant to me. It's getting that team connected. It's getting them on and off the pitch, fighting for each other and getting away from all the what's going on back in Manchester, getting away from all those kind of things. It's great to see that. And I think that's probably more important to the manager than actually the games. If we win, great. If we lose, it's pre-season. I don't read too much into the results anyway.
It's like the flip of the coin, isn't it? So if we win this tournament, I'm saying we're winning the treble next year. If we don't win this game, then we're getting top three and things like that. But how long till the second half? It's probably a couple of minutes away now.
It's hard to tell. They're just advertising Remington at the minute. 1990 going on. Man United against Aston Villa, would you believe? So
take us back to those times, eh?
Oh, look, there's Sir Alex.
Yeah, sorry, I'm ahead of you.
Yes, we'd love to see that again. What's happening here? Mark creating a good environment for the girls to work. I guess, Mark, that's kind of one of my last questions before we looked, obviously, to the second half. Obviously, you were there, like you said, you mentioned some of the girls, obviously, out in Toulouse and that kind of thing. The squad, to me, like even the new signings, they all seem like they've been there for ages. Yet some of them have only been there a couple of weeks.
Yeah, what I kind of noticed just really in passing and watching the game on Tuesday night and actually the interaction on Wednesday when they were all out. I mean, we weren't stalking them by any sense on Wednesday, but Rachel Williams, she had her arms around all the Devs players that were out there and she was kind of like talking to them. And I think that's going to be her role, as well as getting a few minutes here and there, but also when they were out on Wednesday around the town, there were groups of them together. So, you had Millie and you had, Millie was, on Wednesday, what was very clear was that Tooney, Leslie, and Mary weren't with them. I think they were training because they had no part in the game on the Tuesday. But there was like a young group and then there was an older group, but they were all interacting with each other, which it was good to see. And I think Mark's building something. I think he's building something special this season. I really do, and very excited. I would, we're going to go wait 3 more weeks until we're all stood at Spurs.
100%. And yeah, would like to see Ella and Hayley. I'd be amazed if we see Tooney too early. I think we'll probably see her a little bit.
Yeah,
later
I mean,
on.
I'm probably expecting to give her 30 minutes, 30 minutes or so.
Give her a bit of a rest. Obviously, before we look to obviously move on to the second half, Mark, what do you reckon then? Second half, are you excited to see who potentially players coming on? What do you reckon? Are we turning this around? How do you think this second?
I think we've got the potential to turn it around. I really do. What I want to see is someone in the box who can get on the end of the crosses. I think, as impressed as I am with Adriana Leon, I think that's what we're missing right now. But the result to me isn't important. It's pre-season. It's getting minutes in the legs and it's building them up slowly and surely for the main event in 3 weeks tomorrow. But if we win it, we win it, and it would be great to see us lift something this season, because I think it might be, for Manchester United as a whole to lift some silverware this early in the season for the women's side, it'll just give them a huge boost.
100%. Thanks, Mark, for coming on. Obviously, you're more than welcome if you want to come on at full time and give your thoughts to yourself and Deb as well. Come on at full time, and we'll chat about hopefully United lifting a trophy then. But the game is just kicked off for us. I know there's probably been a goal on Mark's stream, but no, we shall chat to you, Mark, in about 45 minutes time. Hopefully.
Okay, see you all soon.
Cheers,
Thanks
Mark.
for coming on. Right, and so the game has kicked off again.
Oh, Leah's on.
Leah's on. Has come
Leah's
on.
on. I was just going to say.
Who has she come on for?
Leon.
Oh, come on.
No,
Anywhere else on the pitch, that's a foul.
Shut up, ref. What's that about?
Anywhere else on the pitch, that's a foul. I can't bet.
That's a literal barge off the ball. That's not shoulder to shoulder, putting equal weight on. She knew exactly what she was doing there. So, bang out of order.
I think Deb Mark will be with you in about... He's probably already with you by the time you get there. So Leah has come on. I'm trying to work out who it's for. I'm trying to count the players and see who's not
Garcia.
there. It's Garcia, isn't it?
It is for...
Nikita's not on either. Who's that chasing the ball down now?
That's Stanley, isn't it, on the right-hand side?
Yeah, so Keats and Garcia have gone off.
Interesting. So we'll see how that...
Here we go. They're telling us now. So Lucy Staniforth's come on for Paris.
Wait for the season to play for Cup. Yeah. At the end of the day, like I keep saying, it is just minutes, but I've been impressed by a few players. We're going to do our poll towards the end of the show, about 20 minutes before this. It's proper Sky Sports this, or Sky F1 if you watch that. Vote for your driver of the day. Today you can vote for your player of the match. I'll stick that poll in the chat a little bit later on. I think, to be honest, Lanza, talking about Stanley on the right, I think it's just minutes. I think he knows that Stanley's probably not going to be starting. So get the minutes in pre-season and things like that.
I think it is a tough one, though, isn't it? I mean, do you think there's anyone else? I mean, I'd have shot Klara. I'd have rather, hashtag Hansen in, if I'm honest, for this second half. That would have been nice to have seen. But there we go. That's just me, maybe.
Yeah, we might see Hansen. I don't know. Maybe on that right-hand side at some point. Is she on the bench? I can't remember.
She only got like 20 minutes, didn't she, in the one against Paris? And, it would have been nice to have seen her, I suppose.
I think we might see a bit of Clinton there. And talking about, I'm assuming that's supposed to be Casemiro. If you head over to the men's channel, it literally is at All for United. There'll be some thoughts on Casemiro, but very, very, very briefly, I'm assuming we're all happy with that sign. We finally got a number 6 in the men's team for the first time in years, which is quite something.
It'll just be nice to see who he plays with, whether it's Fred or McTominay.
It can't be any worse than against Brentford, so we'll see.
Also, what's the name going to be if you do that? Could it be Casey Tony? If it's McTominay, Casey Tominay. I'm gonna have a think about that, so I can work that one out.
Martha Thomas get a few minutes. Yeah, not mentioned Thomas at all. I said that.
Yeah. Thomas would have been another one for the right.
See, we've not had too many there. Bayern just currently playing it kind of around the back at the moment. It's really slow. It's kind of it's a slow start to the second half just kind of.
You know, we were talking about Kirsty. You mentioned Kirsty Hansen before. Like, where?
Oh, sorry.
Unless there's some sort of.
Just to cut you in, Bayern, and just in on the right hand side. They've put the cross in the header at the near post. And
she's got to be the most unlucky goalkeeper ever. That's literally hit the post, hit the back of bags, and gone in. That is ridiculously lucky.
But explain to the viewers what happened there if you're not watching the stream. So the ball's played down the right. It's a little overlap to get past Hannah. Still no real danger there, but the attacker just gets in front of Maria. That shouldn't be going in from that angle for me. You've got to stop that cross firstly, and you can't let the attacker get in front of you like that for me. But I don't know what everyone else thinks on that one. I personally think that shouldn't be going in from that
I think that's a poor goal to concede all round.
Well, you can see the disappointment in Bag's face. She knows it shouldn't be going in as well. I mean, you should never really be conceding from the near post. I think everybody knows that, but not ideal. And then Magull's got booked. Do you see what that was for?
Was that booked or was that just a goal? I think that was just because she scored. I don't think there was
a book. They've got these little yellow things. Yeah. It looked like she'd been booked.
Yeah, Lina Magull. She's on the thumb now and on the score sheet once again. And obviously here comes all the 2-0s in the chat as well.
She would be a good signing because she's the sort of one who, when she does score, you would imagine that the Germans are currently, sat over there going, that's my girl.
Oh dear, that's quite something. There you go. Talking about signings, then a question that we were kind of posing when we were thinking of things, obviously for this little watch along. Hoping by me, there's a foul on Blundell there on kind of United's 32. What would be your dream signing? Unlimited budget, don't have to convince the player. In our little fantasy world, who would your kind of dream signing be if you could get anybody into this Man United side? The thinking caps are on.
I think I'm trying to think of a position where we'd really sort of need someone. Do you know, I'd be tempted to go Leah Williamson.
Another centre half?
I think I'd quite like that. That'd work for me. Then we could use Maya as a fullback.
So I like Lanzell's point, Oberdorf.
Gosh.
What are we doing? Playing it around at the back here.
Oh, nice little back heel there to Zelem. Well done.
That was a cracking back back heel to Zelem there, but I don't know what we're doing playing out on the edge of the box.
We need to get the grip of ourselves. It's not.
Don't quite
it's
know.
Not been a very good few moments.
Oberdorf and Fraser, Oberdorf or Hegerberg, Billy Bright, Pacheas from Barca, Sam Kerr and Millie Bright.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, for me, yeah, it's anyone. Oberdorf for me would be the one. Not that we need a midfielder right now. I think you can't look past a good youngster like that. No, it won't, Martin. It won't. We're gonna win this 3-2. I'm overconfident.
Oh, that's a nice ball. Go on. Oh, Leah. Oh.
Go on, Barry. Explain what just happened there.
Well, I mean, again, great ball from Zelem through there. Nice little flick from Bache. I think that's Groningen with a cross. And then Leah Galton. To be honest, I just think Martha Thomas against Aston Villa, it's the other way around because Leah's got her foot to it. And I think she knew the minute she hit it, it wasn't going in. And just wide at the far post. But what an effort that was. A few more of those. And we could well be looking at 3-2.
She does that quite a lot, doesn't she, Leah? Comes in sort of back post, normally buries them.
That's the one. That was the chance, wasn't it, right there to get us right back in the game. Fine.
That would be really helpful.
You got to be clinical, haven't you?
Believe it, Sang. You saw that.
I saw that. Go on, yeah. That's a good challenge. Well done. Yeah. Go on, cross.
It's the right idea.
Corner. Who was that? Who chased that down? Let me guess. Honor. Yes.
It was. She's just
no lost cause.
You run out of
The thing
words
is,
to describe it.
Honna's going to have more work to do, isn't she? Let's be honest, because we're standing fourth on the right. I just, Parris is more natural, I think, in that position, as was Garcia. So we shall see. It's not half time, Connor. You little ticker.
Oh, yes. That's comfortably collected by the goalkeeper. I'll put kind of 55.
And kicked away quickly. Right, where you going with that, Bags? Back out left. Ooh. Nice ball to Jackie.
Yeah, it was a cracking ball from Jackie, like Mark's saying there, to put the ball across. That's the thing for me. I think, like I said, we lose this game, fine, it happens. But I'd like to see us. We're creating chances. The little openings are happening. I mean, let's be real. We were talking, obviously, when Mark was just on a moment ago. Did anyone expect us to come here and steamroll this tournament? You're looking at the three teams we're up against.
No. And, ultimately, where are we expecting to win? No. We just want to see them give a good account of themselves, really. And I think when you're looking at things like that, we need to make the most of chances like the one that Galton just had, if we're being honest, because that was where our Achilles heel was last season, was that when we had these chances, we didn't always put them away.
No, 100%. It's not looking too promising at the moment, but there's still plenty of time. Man are just in safe possession at the moment, passing it around the back. What minute are we on now? Just coming up to just over the 55-minute mark. So still plenty of time.
Did you say your signing that you would have brought in, Connor?
I just agree with everyone in the comments, to be honest. Oberdorf or Samker or somebody like that, I think.
Get up. Shoot. Oh.
Blundell with a shot on the edge of the box that's blocked. And Bayern Munich break. This is where they're going to be dangerous now, because they're going to have...
Yeah.
They don't need to come at us as much now. So they will sit back and hit us on the break, which is always dangerous when you're... Especially now... This is not nothing against Stanny as such, but as Barry, you said a moment ago, Honna's going to have to do a lot more work now down that side, because Stanny does not have the pace to be able to get up and down that line.
If I'm brutally honest, right now, I'd be looking to take more off and bring on a more natural, a Hansen, a Thomas, someone like that who could go into that position.
They're also not going down that side at all, if you noticed. They know what the weaker side of the defence is. Everything's going down.
Crikey. Zelem is just composure in the box. Unrivaled. That's an interesting comment. It's not related to the game, which is good. Don't mind talking about some other things on this stream. Cineworld have gone bankrupt.
Oh, I love Cineworld.
Doesn't surprise me.
Do a really good munch box.
Do you know, I haven't been to the cinema properly because I can't afford to take a mortgage out on the house just to go and watch a film.
Barry, just get a better job. Have you not heard?
Yeah, perhaps they're hiring.
You can eat mouldy food, and you probably can drink less water. So,
yeah, true.
There we go.
Sorry.
That's I remember it when we were talking about a Harry Potter little section for 30 seconds as well. Deb, I vaguely remember you put in the chat, Harry Potter, you don't like it. You hate it. What's going on there?
Oh, get out.
That can't be real. Where have you seen this?
I'm not making this up. I'm going to scroll all the way up, Deb, just to call you out, unfortunately. But
there is no chance that Debs is a muggle. No
there
way.
we go. I'm not lying.
Do you know what? Do you know what though? If we're going to share controversial opinions on things of cultural capital variety, I don't like the following: Queen, not the Queen, and give or take her, Queen the band, and Michael Jackson.
Both I agree with.
What do you mean you don't like following them? You mean you don't like listening to them?
I don't like their music.
You might be outnumbered here, Barry, because I agree with both.
You have to go and I'm sorry.
Look at Barry acting like a dictator. Anyone with a difference of opinion? Kick to the curb.
Shocking behaviour.
But no, I agree on both of those. supporting black comment.
Honestly, Clara's a wizard. No, I think he's watching something about Mary.
Yeah, Charlie, you're gonna. I'll take a look at that. To be fair, Vincent, I'm a very big. The Hogwarts Legacy game got pushed back to next year, which I'm gutted about.
My wedding was Harry Potter theme.
No, what's
I'll be sure to show Deborah all my photographs in the Spurs away game. I'll flick through them. No, genuinely, it was Harry Potter theme.
I actually want to see this now.
Not like mental, not mental. Like we didn't go in Harry Potter fancy dress. But the general theme was really good.
You'll have to send some
Even if
pictures
I
through
do
later. Be intrigued to
No,
see that. I know my brother wanted a Star Wars theme one, but doing the whole hog going to Italy and having that kind of wedding. But
Unbelievable.
oh dear.
She does want to break free, but her take on everything, especially the Michael Jackson bit, is just bad. She needs to beat it. Because I think he's a thriller. So,
Oh, Barry, you're good at this.
And I am not alone in that opinion.
Mark Skinner and the Bayern coach are like yin and yang. Have you noticed? Like Skinner's all in white, and the Bayern coach is all in black. They're both wearing those lovely white pumps, hair perfectly coiffed.
I like it. That's a good tackle from
Maya Letizier. Maya Letizier. Better footballer than Matt Letizier.
Yeah, and not related. But
And
their
not
families
related.
do know each other,
Connor, stop trying to push that agenda that they're related.
They actually said that on MUTV the other night. They had to actually mention that. Oh, by the way, they're not related. Because it's an easy mistake to make. Two footballing families.
See, the minute we bring up Michael Jackson and throw out a few songs like that, Sang's all of a sudden a fan. It's great. Good old Mickey as well. Look. Me and Mickey like this.
Oh, go on.
No.
We going
referee signal for that.
I was going to say, I thought that went out then, but
referee did the body popping arm movement.
Body popping. Did you see? I saw this brilliant. I haven't watched it for years, but Soccer AM, they were doing
tubes,
the third eye, and they was doing. It was a clip where they were showing the people warming up, and the linesman was warming up as well. And I'm going to have to actually show you because this is what he does. He runs down the line. He's not in the picture, and then he comes into the picture behind them and does this with his arm, as if he's practicing the actual signalling of the offside. It is unbelievable. I've never seen it before in my life. Practicing the signalling. And he did it so seriously.
That's what we do on here, though, Barry. We practice before we go live, don't we? Because we're very professional on this channel.
But that's true, yeah. You used to think it would show more, really, wouldn't you?
Crikey. There was a comment I was going to bring. Something I want to
go again.
I'm not going to do it. I can't remember what I was going to bring up now. That was it. So, bit of debate went round all kinds of group chats the other night. I'm going to pause what I say while we watch this United attack play out. It's about 35 yards out. Blundell on the left-hand side at the moment. She just put a long kind of cross into the middle, and it's easily headed away in the end.
Oh, come on.
And Bayern Munich got possession back. Bayern Munich now on the counter.
Who the heck's this? She's rapid. What on earth?
She's just come on.
Just did about 30 Phil Neville stepovers, though. See you later. Why did she do that? She was absolutely gassed Blundell, who is quick, and then thought, I'm going to do 50 stepovers. We'll see what happens. And Blundell went, yoink. That's what happened.
Gone out for a Bayern Munich right side.
Do you remember when Phil Neville did that? That was hilarious, wasn't it?
My guess is that Blundell was tired and she didn't want to have to run again if she decided to have a go inside.
Indeed so. Very much so. So it's a Bayern Munich corner. They've whipped it really high, headed away by Zelem, and it's kind of on the edge of the box. I expect this to go out wide, which it has done. cross back in. It's gone out for throw-in.
Right.
On
Good
the right-hand side.
work.
The question I was going to ask, Man United Twitter, Man United
Yeah,
Women's Twitter,
too.
asked the question. Tooney and Martha Thomas look like they're going to come on.
Tooney's coming on for Jackie.
Who's, I imagine, Thomas for Leon?
Good change. Oh, that's got to be Thomas for
Yeah,
more.
Thomas
It
for
is
Leon.
magic.
Thomas for Leon. He's keeping more on.
Crystal ball.
So Jackie and Leon have gone off for Tooney and Martha Thomas. Could make things interesting for the final, however long. I will get this question out. Hopefully, as no one breaks in play. I'm just going to ask it because we all kind of had a nice little debate about this. Are there more legs or more eyes in the world? This was a question posed by Man United Women's Twitter, and they asked a couple of the players. The answers were very interesting. We all kind of disagreed in our chats that we were having as well. Be intrigued to know what the comments think, because that is what the world are thinking of right now. That's the big question on everyone's mind. Barry was instantly pointing at his own eyes there.
No, it's not eyes. That's the point. I said it's not eyes.
Yeah.
I refuse to accept it. It's
I
legs.
initially thought eyes because of flies having what I thought was thousands of eyes, but it's not. They have 2 eyes, I think, that are compound eyes, which means they've got loads of lenses, but it's still just 2 eyes. So that swung it back for me. And then Connor, you were going, "Ooh, what about all the fish we've never discovered? Well, we can't count those because we're not."
That was a bit
I'm like,
stupid. Oh,
oh,
It's just
sorry,
very
it's 3-0 because someone's just used one of their things that they've got more of than anything else in the world to smash the ball into the back of the net at the far post. And I kind of wish he'd had more eyes than legs at that point, if I'm brutally honest, because it probably wouldn't have gone in.
So what's happened here then? So the corner's got whipped in. It's around the centre circle. The Bayern Munich player's got a head on it, beat Blundell to the ball. It's kind of gone to the back post. Leah's not seeing the player running in behind, and it's just a finish into the top left-hand corner. I don't think Bagley can do too much more there, but I think that's game over now. Can't see us.
Well, unless we get one quick, it's not looking good, is it? They're just not quite. But I mean, Bayern Munich have been a different level since they come out at half time. To be fair, they have worked very hard.
The one thing I will say, to obviously stop. Obviously, I know people are going to look at this and think, it's a bad result. But again, this is not our starting back 2. If you're going to look at it like that, if we were to face Bayern Munich in the Champions League, should we qualify, we're not. This is not going to be our starting 2. Is all I'd say. And back to the important questions of the day. What's people saying here? Fishes versus insects' legs. See, this is what I mean. Fish. There's millions. Absolutely.
yeah, but like things like shrimp and like what else is there? Have multiple legs. Like
Absolutely.
there's all sorts of...
And crabs.
But like I said, storms. The amount of storms that are over the world. The eye of a storm.
There's not that many.
No, I think we're talking living organisms here. Like football,
Well,
2 legs in a football.
If you're talking
legs
living
on tables, legs on chairs,
no.
legs in football matches.
Charlie just said you can't have living organisms, which mean you can't have your tables and your chairs and all of that.
I still think it's legs because of millipedes and centipedes and stuff.
Yeah, but you see,
They have
Charlie's
between
trying to add an
50 and
intellectual side to the debate that doesn't exist.
180 pairs.
It's like that's how it works. But yeah, listen, I wear glasses, as you can see. If I was to wear my contact lenses, Connor, how many eyes would I have?
Is that a trick question?
Not a trick question.
Mine
If I wore
is,
my
yeah.
contact lenses rather than my glasses, how many eyes would I have?
2.
There you go.
You've got 2 legs.
Absolutely. I'm not claiming I've grown any more of that. So, I don't go if I put my shoes on, all of a sudden I've grown an extra 2 legs. I put my contact lenses on, and that's the point. Humans cancel everything out because they've generally got 2 eyes and 2 legs. But you look at all your other animals, your dogs, your cats,
Cow, pig,
spiders, millipedes, centipedes.
What's an exception to the rule? Flamingo. Have they still got 2?
Yeah, they just like to stand on one for some
Keep one
mental
hidden.
reason. Yeah,
Little Jeremy Beadle leg.
swap over every now and again.
I don't know if you can say that, but I have now.
Too late.
Yeah.
Whatever. Wasn't it his hand that was the one bit smaller than the other?
Oh, go on, Leah.
Oh, unlucky Leah. Couldn't quite get there down the left. Johnny comes out, collects the ball. Low, what, Charlie? Yes. Well, if you don't know who Jeremy Beadle is, which to be fair, in America,
I
they
haven't got
probably
potato
don't.
eyes. Who's saying
Jeremy Beadle was a guy about my height, and he had one hand bigger than the other.
If you've seen, I think it's Scary Movie 2, The Scary Janitor. If you've seen that film, you'll know what I'm talking about with the hand thing.
Is this like a film that people should know?
But
we don't know?
Nobody at the far
It's
post,
like a
isn't it?
spoof. It's like takes the mick out of the horror genre. Like it takes the mick out of like Blair Witch and Scream, and I know we did last summer and that sort of thing. I imagine it hasn't stood the test of time, to be quite honest.
That's a great through ball. Go on. Oh, Stanley couldn't quite get there. Golly out again to the feet. We are having a few little attacks there in that last couple of minutes, trying to get down, but nothing coming off as yet.
I was going to say, I want to come to each of you on this point that Venus is coming. And I appreciate all your comments that you've put in over the last kind of hour and a half here. I do disagree, because I think you've got to look at this game. We've completely changed 11. This is not it wasn't our starting 11 to begin with. We've then changed again. We've changed systems. We've got people out of position. We've got all kinds of things going on. And it's our second game against real top opposition. So I think we're going to actually learn a lot more getting beat like this than we would if we could go and play Birmingham tomorrow and go and beat them 10-0 or something. But you're not going to learn too much from that. You've got to try yourself against the best and really test yourself, in my opinion. People might disagree with that, and that's fine. But that's how I feel about it anyway.
Yeah, I think if us not winning this game, obviously I'm not putting words in this person's mouth, but just like generalising, if us not winning this game means we're rubbish, but what does us not beating PSG mean that we're amazing? Like, I don't know. I
think the whole thing about this was experience, wasn't it? That's 100% what it was. You know, we don't need to go and play championship teams. We know we can beat those. You know, look what we did to Liverpool. So, you know, that's not a massive drama, is it? And I still count them as a championship team, because I haven't played in the WSL this season as yet. So we defeated that particular championship side. But, yeah, I think it's experience. That's all it is. And it's experience for players that, as we said, haven't played together before necessarily. And they've played all right. You know, let's be honest. The first goal, it should have been stopped. You know, we know that's just a mistake. It's one of those that you can't really legislate for. The second goal was a bit unlucky as well, like I say, because I think it bounced off the back line, going through again here on the right, been pushed out to the right.
See, where's the right-hand side there? I think they're getting tired because there's no one tracking that player.
And shattered. She's just grabbing her shirt there to give her face a wipe. She's absolutely knackered.
I think that's the thing you got to think as well. These girls only played 3 days ago. You know, it was Tuesday night we were playing against PSG, and it's the same back four that played in that game. Exactly, they've not changed. So you've got to think they're going to be tired. You know, it's 3 days ago. You're not talking a week's gap between the games here, so they're going to be tired. But I do worry a little bit about that side. I'd love to see Honor put on the left and Meyer at right back, just to see how it works. And see how that would work.
I wonder if when we've got a fit group of centre backs, that might be what happens.
I think you're right. It will be. But yeah, just finishing what I was saying there. You know, all of those things that we're taking into account about the experience is what we need to be looking at here. And again, as we said, when you looked at the men's team, they had a fantastic pre-season and it's been an atrocious start. So yeah, 2 mistakes for the first 2 goals, and you could argue really that the third one, I mean, again, was that tiredness? Was it just not really knowing our jobs at set pieces? I don't know. But I don't think necessarily that we've been outplayed. It's just Bayern have had, you know, a couple of lucky moments with their shots, and one, you could argue, very good shot we couldn't really do too much about. What are we chuckling about now, chaps?
There's a lot of potato chat here from Marty.
So this one here. So
I like the comment before. Oh, that one, yeah, that's the best one.
So we'll
how has potatoes got anything to do with this?
So this is how it kind of started, or it's been going on like this. I'll just bring them up in order. I never thought I'd get this on an All for United WFC stream. This is fantastic. This is what we wanted to see. This is what Watch Long are all about.
You can get eyes on potatoes, so I see where they're going at it. But again, you're bringing in this level of, hello, Stanny, where's she going? Oh, she's cut inside, straight into the three. That was never going to be the best way. She needs to go out, really. This is what I mean. She wants to go more central. But yeah, it's really important that we understand that nobody has stipulated at any point it's living organisms, as in like from the Man United Twitter. It's just eyes or legs. So yes, you can have eyes on potatoes, but as I said before as well, you need to have a number on these things. You can't just go, oh well, you'll get potatoes and they have eyes. Well, how many eyes does a potato have? Doesn't happen, does it? Where are you getting them from?
You put a lot of thought into
have one eye.
Yeah, Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head as well. You're not seen Toy Story.
Yeah, that would count. That's only in Toy Stories. That's 4.
They could have kids.
But they also have legs. How do you think they walk about? They're just bouncing, are they? It's not like this, like a little potato head just bouncing up and down like that. Unbelievable.
Just very quickly, because there's about 15 minutes of the game left. In the next 5 minutes, if everyone could just put their player of the match in the chat, I'll put a poll out for the remaining 10 minutes with the names that I see the most within the chat. I think one name is going to be pretty nailed on in my Letitia, but get your comments in who you think your player of the match is from this particular one, and I'll pick the 4 that is most named in the chat.
I just need to point out here that this was not an attempt at an accent when I did that. Was just my stupid voice, duh, what are you doing? That was not an attempt at an accent on this particular occasion. Just a disclaimer there, just in case we have any countries that are worried at this precise moment that I'm looking for a way in.
I'm on mute. Bayern just making another sub about to come on now. I think this game, even pre-season, it's just a little bit. Someone talk about something else. Let's talk about something.
Loads of changes there.
And this is what I expect of pre-season. You just see completely different teams, which is, to be fair, TJ Jade Moore. Fair play. I will whack that name in the poll, and we'll go from there. We have a little surprise though. Even though he might be a little bit ahead of us, we are going to bring back in our half-time guest. He's going to come in 15 minutes early because I think he's turned the game off, potentially.
It's literally still on, but, I mean, I had to come in because cat's eyes. Can we all agree there's cat's eyes on the motorway and there's more than one?
Exactly. Thank you.
So are we expanding this living organisms now? Are we literally saying everything?
It's always been everything, Charlie. You tried to go too high ground.
No, there's an agenda here. I don't feel comfortable with this conversation taken.
The best part of that whole video was Tuna going, table legs?
Yeah.
Like, she didn't comprehend that was a sentence that you could put it together. I mean, it had me barreled over for a good couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's funny. A table and legs, like it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Never heard it before.
Yeah.
Like some camera tripod has 3 legs.
Correct. Never thought of that.
Thank you. Correct. Verified by Mr. Mark Henry here.
Yeah, I should have thought of that one myself.
We've had it all in this stream, I'll tell you that. Oh, dear me. I mean, if you're limiting it to living organ, then yeah, I guess you'd probably go with legs. I'm not willing to give this up.
Well, I'm still going legs. I'm not having it. It's got to be. Even like, the fly, there's just way too many. The insects make up the vast majority of organisms on this planet, and all of them have got legs.
Venus' response to what we were saying a second ago, PSG is as good as them. We were lucky. I don't think we were lucky. And I don't think the football we've been playing has been bad either, personally. I said you're welcome to disagree, but I don't think we've been as bad. This second half, I think, yes, we've looked very leggy and looked a little bit tired, but I don't think we've been poor, personally. And yes, Vincent, 23. If we can get up to 30 for this one, there's over well over 30 people watching. That has been for most of the stream. So if you can hit that, that would be ideal. Back, look at his little shameful promotion that he wanted to bring up for himself there.
It doesn't happen often that people tell me I'm right.
There we go. Let's get rid of that. Let's not make his head any bigger than it needs to be. Right.
I make my own head bigger. How's that?
But yes, the eyes of the world. Yeah.
More changes. Hansen's coming on.
Girls allowed.
So we got here. So we got Bo Reese, Hansen, and Hayley Ladd finally about to come on.
Oh, I can't wait till it's Christmas and we can sing the 12 Days of Christmas for Hayley Ladd. I love that.
It's for honours coming off for Kirsty Hansen, which is interesting. Does someone want to ask that? Well, I'm just going through the sub. So Maria's coming off for Hayley Ladd. So I'm assuming that's Hayley at centre half. And we're just waiting to see if Bo Reese is coming on for. I'd be inclined to say it's for Jade Moore, which it is.
Could he pull out a stronger lineup? Yeah, he probably could have done, but it's pre-season. Just get some minutes in the legs. That's for me. It's all it's important about is just doing that. Just get some minutes in legs. The results. Look, United men beat Liverpool men in their first pre-season game. We're all going, oh my God, we're going to win everything this season. And look what's happened since. We won PSG, who I thought were poor on Tuesday. I'll say that. This is a very, 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 very good Bayern Munich side. And actually, sometimes, reversely, getting beat by them actually could do you more good than harm. So I'm not reading anything into this result, but the performance is good for me.
I think it's important that we remember exactly what we just said there. Yes, he could have put out a stronger lineup, but we're trying to give minutes in legs to people all across. And it gives Mark a really good chance to see how players, including, Stanley and Moore, get to play whilst we're on the pitch. So I think this is important that he uses these friendlies for that, because we know what the rest of the squad can deliver. We've seen them in match situations doing it. So it's a nice way of doing it. It's a good way of experimenting. But, on this occasion, we've been hammered.
Yeah, also, there is another really... It's 22-11 there, and it's still in the high 20s out there. So it's hot there. It rained for like 5-10 minutes on Wednesday morning, and as soon as the rain touched the ground, it just dried up because the heat was still coming through. So, I think I looked at the weather report this morning because I was a bit jealous of their weather, and it was like 61% humidity. And they're running around in it, and it's like 12 o'clock, and it's still in the high 20s. It's ridiculous.
It's no surprise they're tired, as you say.
Leah's gone in at left back, hasn't she? Leah's in at left back, is that right?
It looks like it looks like it's Leah, Hayley,
Maya,
I don't know who's out on the right.
Vilda. I think it's Vilda.
Not again, surely. Just a shout out. I've put the poll in the chat for your player of the match. To get voting on that, we'll talk about that in about 9 minutes' time when the full-time whistle goes. It's pretty even at the moment. No votes for Jackie at the moment, though, which is quite interesting on that front. So make sure you get your votes in on that, and we'll discuss that in about 8 minutes' time. It is. It's kind of Vilda, and no, it's Hannah, isn't it? Hannah's gone out to the right. Yeah, Hannah's gone out to the right. Oh, we are joined by another celebrity. Look at this. We've got the power couple on now. Now we're...
If I sit here, does it start the twins?
I'm so... Thank you, Debs. Honestly, I couldn't take much more. Having these people telling
you should have been pleased, surely. That was a compliment to you, Barry.
I'm very pleased that we're looking very similar. I do think that's a rather fantastic thing. It's just people in the comments constantly like, oh, we're twins.
There's always worse people.
What I want to know, though, Mark, is if we're twins, which one of us is going to be Danny DeVito and which one of us is going to be Arnie? I'll let you be Arnie, I think.
Fair enough.
That one. You be Arnie, I'll be Danny.
Okay.
Superb.
Go on, Deb, what have you thought on the game there? Because I know you've just come in, you've been in the comments all night, so I appreciate that. But what have you thought on this so far?
I'd appreciate somebody actually giving me... I think Bayern, when does their season start? Because for me, they just look so much more ready. Let me give them there. I think they look. Bottom line is they've got quality, and I think whereas on Tuesday night PSG didn't play a lot of their best players, you've got a lot of the best of Bayern there tonight. So I think that they've put more quality out, and they just look ready. Now that might be because their players are that much better, which, let's be honest, we're not going to be surprised about. But they look as if there is a difference in class. But all credit to us. All credit to us. I don't think, the first goal's a disappointment, and no one's probably going to be more annoyed with that than Baggers is. But it's football. Had we got to half time at 0-0, there you go. That's the difference. Sorry, just watching. I know we're slightly ahead of you, so I won't say too much. But for me, there's a different sense about the Bayern match. I think this is a better Bayern performance, certainly, than the one they had on Tuesday. On Tuesday, the game against Barca, I thought they were pretty average. I didn't think Barca were much better. But for me, I think Bayern are head and shoulders the best team in this competition in terms of the teams they've put out. Maybe not the best teams in the middle of a season. And I think all credit to us. Yeah, had we got to half time at 0-0, would it have been a different second half? I think they still had better quality to come off the bench. And, you're talking about one of the best teams in Europe. You're talking about a team that's probably going to give the top three in England, if they come across them in the Champions League, real hassle. So, we've got 4 minutes and a bit to go. And people are going to see a top line of that score. But in the context of it, I'd like to think there's a lot of positivity we can take from it. Certainly, I think, and I'm not just, blowing smoke here, I think there's a lot to be cautiously optimistic about.
And Mickey's made the point here that German girls were back from the Euros and training within 2 days. Our girls have only got back this week. And like I just said on the stream a second ago, we played 3. I know Bayern did as well, but a lot of this squad are not going to be starting games going into next season. The team that's playing now is completely different to the one that started the game. So you can't look too much into individual. The goals are poor. I'll admit that. I think some of the first two in particular, they should not be going in from where they are. But like you said, so Bagley will know that. It's a keeping error. Unfortunately, as a goalkeeper, you make a mistake, it's going in. Whereas midfielders can make a million mistakes all game, and you're not going to notice it too much.
Well, you're going to talk about the goal we conceded more than the goal that Leah didn't score, perhaps, because it's so final. When a goalkeeper makes a mistake, there very often is nothing for them to fall back on. So, for me, I also just think, get your mistakes out of the way now.
Yeah, no injuries, I think, was the key thing we said the other night.
And, I was told that, I know we mentioned it before about, I think Mark said about during halftime about the atmosphere within the squad. And I think one of the things, obviously having seen some of the players around interludes on Wednesday, and even just by the side of the pitch on Tuesday after the game, what was indicated to us was the mood within the camp is really, really good. And what's happening is that the players who are injured are still very integrated in the main squad. So you've got a good team spirit there. And actually, that's going to be needed at times this year. It's interesting because the camera cut away after we conceded the first goal. What was you saw Baggers just sort of nod her head, like, yep. Someone said something to her, and she's gone, yeah, I know, that one's on me, right, we'll move on. She's not standing there and, arms down and getting frustration, like, yeah, okay, done it. It's pre-season at the end of the day. I think the mood within the camp is good. I think it's been a couple of really good run-outs and a training camp. And, Millie's had her last day of rehab today. I think that's brilliant news. Because I think that there is more in the defence that needs to be sorted and settled. We're still pushing here. Would love to think we could make the keeper pull off a decent save at some point, if we can't score. But it's about giving players the opportunity, and it's about being ready for Spurs. All of this is great. I mean, if we'd have won a bit of silverware, we'd have all been buzzing tonight. Absolutely great. Yeah, woo, let's stick it in the museum.
Just for anyone else who's watching, obviously, the stream on NUTV, is the minutes added on coming up really early for anyone else?
We've got it now.
Yeah, 2 minutes, and there's still 2 minutes of actual time left.
I was surprised there was only 1 minute in the first half, because I thought Nikita Parris was down for a lot more than 1 minute.
Yeah, it seems like in pre-season, don't they? They just don't like adding time on for whatever reason.
No, in fact, there was one of the games on Tuesday. It might have been the Barca Bayern when somebody there was a lengthy injury and still only put 2 minutes on. So I think everybody's on half. Yeah, everyone's on half pay kind of thing. The refs and the liners, so they want to get home.
Don't want to tie them out too much, really, do they? With it just being a pre-season one. But I think as well. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like at the end of this, Mark's not going to be coming in being all really upset about it. He's very much going to take it as what it was when he first spoke about it, which is that it's a learning experience for everyone, a chance to see how they compare. And it's 3-0 on the scoreline, but it's not really 3-0 in terms of clear chances that they've really taken, is it? Because we say Sophie probably should have saved the first one. The second one was a little bit unlucky as well. So I think we've shown we can match up to them. Do you not think?
I think there's errors that have led to the goals. But having said that, I'm also honest enough to say, and I put the comment in, they were putting us under pressure after about 20 odd minutes. Absolutely. And to be honest with you, the fact that we held out to the 43rd was a surprise. But I just think in the context of it, this will do us. This is the best team we've ever faced in our history. This is the best team we have ever come up against. And whilst I think there's been errors and there's been mistakes, if our girls can't take something from this for when they're up against the rest of the Super League, then what more do they need? This is a brilliant opportunity. And this is what I said. We were interviewed by MUTV on Tuesday. And I was asked, what do the girls need to do? And I know some people would talk about they need to be tight, they need to play this formation. I just said, go and enjoy it. This is a heck of an opportunity for them. Mm-hmm. And this match in particular, we're going to focus on the results. We're going to focus on the fact that it's currently 3-0. Whistle's probably like to go soon. But this is the toughest opposition. And how many people, when this was announced, were expecting 5, 6, 7-0 losses? Maybe more.
I'll be intrigued just very quickly, because I appreciate all your comments, Venus. I know we're disagreeing on a lot here, but you've said that this is not the best team. I'm assuming that's team that we've ever faced. I'd like to know who you think is, if it's not Bayern, because someone mentioned earlier, the Germans absolutely destroy the English sides in the Champions League. So I don't think you can maybe look at the three English sides. Potentially you might disagree, but I'd like to know who you think is the toughest we've faced if it's not Bayern Munich.
I mean, you're talking, if we're looking at that, then you've got the top three in the Super League. And other than that, Vålerenga, 3 years ago, who were in the middle of their season and absolutely outplayed us. And again, we were absolutely ravaged in terms of fit players because of where things were up to. But that's the best team. And actually, unlike PSG, there's a lot of their star players that have been in that game tonight. So, I'd love to know the answer. Who is the best team we've faced so far?
Obviously, brothers have to stick together. And
twins, you're not
twins. Sorry, twins have to stick together. I agree with Barry. It wasn't a 3-0 game, that. It wasn't a 3-0 game.
So there was a comment just going back to this whole lookalike thing. There was a question earlier on about you two in terms of who is the tallest, or how do you stack up height wise? I don't think you've ever stood next to
That's going to be Mark again as well. We all know that.
You see, very cleverly. I always stand on the back row, so anyone who's in front of me is always shorter than me. So
no, I think Mark might just edge that.
I'm sure he is. We can answer this quite easily. I'm about 5'2". So
no, he's definitely got that
Yeah.
advantage on you.
I stand at the back not because people are lower than me, but just so I can see. Frustrating otherwise, you're like, oh no.
That's a fair point. Yeah, get your comments in. We're going to talk about player of the match before we look to wrap this stream up because we have been live for literally just coming up to 2 hours now. So we'll talk about the player of the match poll in a second. And yeah, I agree with a lot of these comments. It's pre-season improvement, things like movement and chemistry and patterns of play as well. Someone mentioned earlier 7 new signings to integrate into this squad as well. It's tough. You've got congratulations for being taller. that's the.
We don't know. We assume that's this Mark, not Mark Skinner. So hopefully that's this.
Hope so.
Well done for being taller.
Thank you. Very sensibly.
Again, Venus, I've got to disagree. How are they better than Chelsea even for beating them in competition? I just think they're a better side. Personally, look, you can have your own opinion. Ultimately, it's opinions, but who you think. We could all sit here and say Man United are the best team in the world. It doesn't mean it's true. So it's down to your opinion, but I personally don't think so. I think Bayern are the best team we've played. So I'll bring up the player of the match poll. I'll come to you first, Charlie, because you've been very quiet in the last 20 minutes or so. So I'll get you back involved. So the poll that we put out on the YouTube channel, so 43% say Maya, 26 say Honor, and 30 say Jade Moore. So Maya wins it just 0% for Jackie, which I'm quite surprised at. Because I actually thought she did quite well when she was on. But Charlie, I guess your thoughts on that poll and who you would have voted, or if you did vote on that one for your kind of player of the match tonight.
Yes, I did vote. I voted for Maya, but it was a close vote between her and Jackie. I did think Jackie was really good, actually. I think she had a really good game. Maya, for me, was standout. I felt like her positional play was really good. Her ability to track back and prevent what would be good opportunities, I think, for Bayern to be one-on-one were really good. There was a couple of times when she'd got all the way back onto the line to create an extra body when she looked like she was nowhere. There was a couple of tackles that she made, which coming from behind, and I think if she'd not made those tackles, we would have been in serious trouble. But it didn't feel like she wasn't going to make them. Like, she just seems really assured and really confident to me. Like, she knows what her job is and she does it really, really well. And I'm even more excited to see her play for us in the league now.
I was on a completely different tab. And Barry, same question to yourself. That poll that went out, I said Maya won it just by a little bit over Jade Moore in the end. Was that who you voted for? Do you agree with that one?
Yeah, I did go on and vote. That's what I was doing when Deb appeared. Yes, I went for Maya Letitia. I think she's stood out for me today in this game. I think she's worked really hard defensively, and I think she's just shown loads of positives that she's got there. But honestly, I think that the whole team has worked, I think, really well. We've seen positives from every player today, and I think that can only be a good thing. Obviously, we've seen some mistakes, we've seen some issues, but again, this is the time to do it. It's pre-season, we haven't really lost anything. It's as I said, it's the AMOS French Cup, which is really just 4 teams, and yes, it's a final. It would have been lovely to have had something, but ultimately, I think very much like Debs, at the end of the day, they're getting experience. It's massive experience. It's continental experience. We've played PSG, we've played Bayern Munich in their own backyard as well. And it's the sort of stuff that we need. We need to know what we can do against these sorts of teams. And, I still maintain we held out. We held out with them. We played well. We did all right. Leah Goulton, if she'd have scored her goal, who knows what would have happened then? That would have been immediately after the second goal. So 2-1, the confidence would have gone back into the team. I think, you look at how David De Gea came out. We said the first goal was a bit like David De Gea. We said that when he came out, he actually started, he took the blame and said the loss was basically on me. And I just wonder if that's a bit like this here as well, that the confidence just went a little bit because they've been doing so well for so long. So, yeah, for me, Maya Letitia gets it, but I think positives across the pitch.
No, 100%. And Mark and Deb for yourselves. I know you mentioned a couple of players as well, but yeah, they're just showing the goals back now. I don't particularly want to see these goals again, personally. But I guess your thoughts on who you thought stood out tonight, and if maybe someone who wasn't on the poll.
I actually voted for Jade Moore only because, and this is going to sound really ridiculous what I'm going to say now about Maya Letitia. That's the second game that I've seen her in, but I already expect that of her. And that actually, as I'm saying it, I'm thinking, where's that come from? But yeah, she's started like an absolute rocket, and she started in the position we didn't. Well, not all of us expected her to play in. Some people called it quite early on. I'll give them credit for that, Connor. But I went for Jade Moore because I was surprised she was playing so forward. I really just expected her to sit, and I thought Zelly would be the one that went forward. But a couple of times she was the one that was really mixing things up and getting in the box. And if she could have put in a couple of better crosses, yeah, absolutely. I've read a similar message to that, actually, Andy. Yeah, for me, I went with Jade Moore just because it showed, and this is my naivety, it showed a real versatility to a game I didn't see, and also gives us an added dimension that we don't just have to put her in there against the teams who want a defensive midfielder. She can really bring that ball forward. So, but yeah, I also recognise that I'm saying that because I've already got a very high bar for Maya Letitia, which perhaps is a bit unfair because any other day she's your standout player.
Me. Okay. Well,
Come on, Arnie.
All right. I was going to say Jade, but I'm going to throw a slight curveball in because I think she was brilliant on Tuesday and she controlled the game today, and I'm going to go for Zelly. I think Zelly, as I said before, I think Zelly's going to be integral to where this team goes this season. I think there's a reason why Mark singled her out in that interview on Tuesday night. And I know all of us, Connor, Charlie, Barry, Deb, we all go to the games and I think we all take for granted what Zelly brings to the team. But she's changing the role. She's becoming that leader. And I think she's had to grow into the role. And I think tonight and on Tuesday night, she's definitely growing into it. She was very vocal on Tuesday. I mean, I'll speak to Shane and Ian and find out if she was as vocal tonight. But I think Zelly, just the way she controls the game sometimes from midfield, it goes unnoticed because we all, like Deb says now about Maya Letitia, we kind of expect it from her constantly. So I'm going to go Zelly. I would have gone Jade Moore if Deborah hadn't, but.
Do you not prefer, and sorry, I'm not taking this lead here. Do you not prefer Zelly further forward though?
I actually like her as the quarterback.
Okay.
No, it's a fair question. I mean, John's asking a question here. If we need a starting DM, who do we go for, Haley or Jay? Well, Jay Moore didn't play the holding DM today, so you could throw Zelem in the mix.
And I think what's important for me, I mean, I was very, very, very impressed with Jade Moore, but that's her first, well, what did she do? 80 minutes or so.
The longest she's played, isn't it?
She's only had a bit part at Spurs, at West Ham away, and that was it. So that's probably the first time we've actually seen her proper. So I was impressed, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. However, just as on a technical side, and I know Debs has mentioned this, I have an issue with her wearing a number 4 shirt because it should be Amy Turner wearing it, but that's just, me.
You could have retired that shirt.
The gatekeeping shirt numbers. Here we go. Let's get that agenda started. Because why not? Crikey. I didn't think we'd lose tonight. I'm a little bit disappointed, but there we are. That's life as a United fan. I'll come to each of you now. I don't want to dive too much into this because we are going to be doing a show on this next Tuesday. We won't be live on Monday because obviously it's Man United Liverpool on the men's side, and who doesn't want to watch that and everything that may or may not happen pre and post game. I know Mark and Deb, you'll go into that one, so good luck is the only words for that. We might win. I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, who would have thought it would have been a 6-pointer this early in the season against Liverpool? I mean,
relegation 6 points.
Hey, they need the points as much as we do.
Yeah, who knows? So, but I'm going to ask each of you in terms of how you think. I know it's very brief reaction after the tournament, but how you think this tournament's gone as a whole. Obviously, we played PSG. We've just played Bayern Munich. Go around the same order, Charlie, Barry, and I'll let Mark and Deb, you two finish off. But Charlie, for yourself, how do you think this tournament's gone? Do you think it was a good thing to go for a tournament like this, or where does it kind of stack for you in terms of the player performances, but also how it's been kind of on and off the pitch, I guess, for the team?
Absolutely, it's been a good thing. I think you learn a lot more playing games like this than you would playing just lower league English sides. That's no disrespect to them, but I think you They learn a lot about where they need to be. I thought it was helpful because you could even see tonight they were clearly still trying to play the playing out from the back game against really tough opposition. So you can see things they're trying to practice that they want to implement more successfully. And at times it worked really well and times less well. What I enjoyed most about it was I was a little bit worried that even though it doesn't matter so much that we would just perhaps get turned over, just knowing the sorts of players that we'd be missing. So I actually think what a lot of our fringe players have done is done a really good showing of themselves to say, hang on, we're still here. We can do a job as well. And I think that showed the strength and depth of the squad that we've actually got. And I'm actually feel more excited about the season ahead, having watched this tournament, because we look up for the fight. There's loads of promise. Even tonight, there were patches of really good play, actually, where if we'd just been a little bit more clinical and had the striker maybe we'd normally have in position, we maybe could have got a goal or two. So I think it's a good thing. This is what Mark has taken them to do, because it's a real proper test. And we're not there yet, quite clearly, but we also aren't a million miles away. So it's something to aim for. And we also know now that when we get top 3 at the end of the season, when we get it, we now know what we'll be coming up against when we compete in the Champions League next year.
I like that. Go on, Barry, follow that.
Well, again, it just goes along with what I said earlier on, so I don't think I need to go on too much for this bit. I just think, it was good. It was nice to get a win against PSG to make it to the final and, to get a bit of experience against Bayern. And, yeah, I totally agree with everything that Charlie said there. I think it's just going to be a fantastic season. I think we've got so much to look forward to. And that's why I just think, I know Mark said it before when he's been on, we've just got to enjoy it. I mean, you compare it. We've sat here and watched this game. We've spent 2 hours and 10 minutes on a stream together. And it's been joyous all the way through. We're not sitting here getting angry or doing anything like that because it's a pre-season game and it's something we've had the opportunity to enjoy. So I'd agree with a lot of what TJ said as well. So fabulous. I think it's been a really good experience. I've enjoyed it and so much better than playing, I don't know, Lewis.
No, that's a fair shout. I will leave Charlie and Deborah to laugh away at what they're laughing at. But Mark, I'll throw the same question to yourself.
Debs is gone as well.
It's all right. It happens on these streams. It happens to us the other night. But also as well, I'm going to throw in another question to you. How you both think the tours went? Obviously, obviously your own experiences down in France, but also if you can add on to the end of that about the bus to Spurs as well, whether there's any space left for that as well, if you want to give that a shout out at the end as well.
So the tour was a lot of fun. Anyone who, next year we don't know where, next year wherever it'll be, we'll probably try and find our way down there to go and watch pre-season. It's always fun. The games, there was a good atmosphere. There was a bit of to and fro against the PSG fans, which was fun to see. They tried to start a Mexican wave. We booed. They cheered. We booed. It was in generally good banter. The most important thing about pre-season, and everyone has mentioned it, is just getting the players back to fitness. A lot of them won't need it because most of our players have gone quite deep into the Euro, so they'll just generally come back and just do little bits and bobs. But it's just about September the 10th now. That's for me is where it's about. Win, lose, draw, whatever. The main focus of Mark and all the staff and every player will be Spurs on September the 10th. And that's where I am as well. I would love to have seen them win it, but, it's United. We either win, lose, draw, we all go crying or, I'm sure Shane and Ian are finding their way to some bar somewhere to, drown the sorrows before they get on ridiculous. Because Shane has already said to me he's doing an all-nighter tonight because he's on a 6 o'clock flight out of Toulouse. So he said he's not going to bed. He's going to stay up, and the hotel bar where he has his 24 hours. So that's where he'll be most of the night or morning.
Excuse me. Just to say about pre-season, Mark and I are very fortunate. I think it's just Mark, myself, and Nat who are the only ones who've done every pre-season tour, whether that was Oslo, Glasgow, or Toulouse. Nat holds the record of having done every match. We haven't been that fortunate, but I think it's just an opportunity to go and see the team. And it's always after a time when you've not seen them for a while, so you miss them. And there's not as much riding on it as you expect in a normal league game. So the way I see it, any opportunity, get out of the country, go and watch the team for a bit. Yeah, it's always a great opportunity. And you get to go and see a city you'd never go and see on holiday. So yeah, Oslo and Toulouse, can't ever say.
For me, what was great is that we went to get a drink on Tuesday, and one of the French organisers saw us because we're all wearing. You might have noticed we're all wearing the same T-shirt, so we all kind of.
It's like the worst stag do ever.
And they asked us where we came from, and we said Manchester, and they went, "How long are you here for?" And Debs and I went, "We're just here for this game." She went, "You're marvellous. You're fantastic." It was like you're like, "All right, calm down." She's like, "Come speak to us and all this," and I was like, "Well, no, I want to go watch the football." And they were like, "Welcome, thank you for coming." We're like, "Really? This is what football fans do."
I think as well that for me, as much as I'd love to have seen them win it tonight, there's also a part of me that thinks, okay, who we won it tonight? And it's something I said to somebody on Tuesday, you've raised expectations. And actually, we'd be unbearable. And we'd be expecting to win every match 5-0 if we'd have won tonight. And as nice as it would have been, in some ways, what I'm just really relieved about is we haven't lost both matches. I know that might sound really, really unambitious, but, when this was announced, people were questioning the sense of going up against such opposition. But we came out with a win on Tuesday. Were we the better team? Probably not. But we ground out to win. And how many times last year did we not hold on to a 1-0? So we take that, especially against PSG, in a very different atmosphere and a climate. So credit to them for that. Tonight, yeah, we'd have loved to have won. We certainly, if we weren't going to win, we didn't want to lose heavily. But I just hope that what we get out of this tournament is confidence, fitness, and an opportunity to bond the team together. So for me, how do I sum up the tournament? Actually, from my perspective, I just wanted them to at least get a draw or a win out of one of the matches. Just not be absolutely slaughtered, which was what people were expecting. So, yeah, obviously shame they didn't win. And despite the fact that they've lost, I'd have still loved to have been out there tonight. And all credit to those people that have done the full trip. Yeah, it's football, isn't it? And it's just that thing we do. We do crazy things and go many miles, and it makes sense to us. Speaking of miles, that's a nice segue.
I know, I like that. That was.
You can tell where my previous life was in. So I've spoken to the company running the bus travel today, who we're working with, and with regards to the Spurs bus, we are filling up nicely. We're over more than halfway full. I think we're nearly 2/3 full on the bus. So if anybody is tempted, then it might be a case of sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's an opportunity to go to a stadium that maybe people wouldn't have had the opportunity to do otherwise. Certainly, I'm relieved I'm not going to Leyton Orient this season, unless we get them in the cup. But it's an opportunity to go to a nice stadium. We've got a nice sized allocation that some people have been counting individual seats of. And I'd recommend anybody, if they want to. Yeah, I was never a weather person either. If anybody is tempted to come and join us and just see what the atmosphere is like at a game. Yeah, absolutely. Mark will tell you, we had tickets to go and see the men play at Spurs as COVID kicked in. It was the game that got called off as COVID was starting to rear its head. So we were that close to going to see the new stadium, and then we haven't been close since. So yeah, looking forward to this one. But yeah, the bus is filling up. But also, as well as doing the bus for away games, there is a shuttle bus for home games. It leaves from Old Trafford and stops off at a couple of other places. One, I think, is Eccles Park and Ride. Eccles Tram Station. And then there's the Park and Ride on the motorway at Wardley, I think. So if anybody's familiar with the V1, it's going to be a similar sort of journey but it will stop at the stadium. So for those who are familiar with the V1, it drops you a fair distance away, and if it's not so pleasant weather-wise, you've got a nice little walk ahead of you. Whereas this is sort of dropping you at the door. So yeah, any questions or anything, anybody's got any concerns or thoughts or whatever, just by all means drop us. The AMU WFC Twitter account tends to be the one we patrol the best, or Instagram actually. Then yeah, drop us a message, and hope to see as many people at games, whether they be home or away, throughout the season.
No, 100%. As we've said before on this channel, there's no excuse now for LSV, which is also selling out very nicely. And if you didn't get our indications where we were pointing, because we were pointing all over the place, a certain woman to my, I don't even know what side it is, because it's probably flipped on YouTube. The person on my that's alongside me has maybe been counting some seed, but it's looking good.
Charlie. It was Charlie, wasn't it? That's the easy way. It was Charlie that did it. And can I also say that if there was any supporters club in the world that would make me want to travel all the way to Manchester just to get on a bus to come all the way back down to London and then go back to Manchester to drive back down to London, you guys would be it.
There we go.
The bus journeys.
Thank you, Barry.
Thanks, Barry. The bus journeys are great. However, the Euro trips, when we get them, will be even more epic. And that's all I'll say. So, Barry, last time we were on, I gave you that little sound snippet, and I'll say it again. It isn't if we're ready for Europe, it's as if they're ready for us.
Correct.
Which on the basis of Tuesday night, all I can say is no.
No.
Because there were 10 of us dotted around. There was a block of 8. There was a couple of others, and from what I'm told, we outsang a very partisan home crowd. So we turned a few of them as well, didn't we? We had a few of the locals come and join us. So that's always a great opportunity. So yeah, well, wherever, we'll just take over. Arrive, take over, spill drinks, go home.
Sounds good to us. And I've just got to say, Connor, before we wrap it up, I don't know how well you can see it, but I mean, look at that. You wouldn't want to win that anyway, would it? What sort of trophy is that?
What, your error? Your washing error?
It's horrific.
I mean, all the women's football jokes now.
I reckon they saw the trophy and went, nah, sod that. Ain't taking that. How are we going to get that in the hand baggage?
You were looking at the washing. I was looking at the dartboard, to be fair. So it's a nice place to have a dartboard in the corner of the room. I used to have one behind me, to be fair, but you should have done that.
Why not? There's something there for me to hang me washing on, which I've done before, and you probably didn't even notice it there as well.
Oh, hang on.
We also had the Barbie article.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy Slater, who edits the Barmy article, is he's a great guy. He's followed United with the men's team for years. Really supports the women's team now as well. And he's one of those. He's always looking for contributors. So if anybody wants to get in touch with him, I'm sure he'd love to hear from people as well.
No, 100%.
Or buy a copy as well. That would help him more.
Yeah, I need to do that. Still not bought one, even though I fully support the Barmy article, just not maybe in the financial sense at the moment. But I will get one. Right, we'll wrap it up then, because we have been live for nearly 2.5 hours. To me, Charlie and Barrett, that's 2 shows in a week we've done for 2.5 hours now. Thanks to everyone in the comments. There's been so many new people in the comments in the last 2.5 hours. Unfortunately, obviously, United didn't get the win, but as we said, it's pre-season. When we come to Spurs, I'm sure we'll be fine. We'll be back, like I said, on Tuesday. We'll talk about the tournament in a little bit more detail, and obviously Barry will be back next week as well. But yeah, so make sure you check out the men's channel as well, because obviously we are going live on Monday. A different type of show, obviously, with the things going on around Manchester United at the moment. There's a lot of talking points, so just keep an eye on the men's channel for that. Make sure you're following the supporters club, as Mark and Deb said there. It's at, I'm trying to remember the at now. What is it? I would get it the wrong order.
MUW_SC on Twitter, and it's the same on Instagram.
That's the one. I always get the S and the C the wrong way around. So there we go. It's better if you.
I still refer to the BA. So yeah. I mean, I'm no good at all.
Did you notice earlier in the show when I was shouting you out for being there? I said the BA /
Yeah.
the supporters. I didn't
Well,
quite.
Zara Connolly called us the Barmy Army, and I was like, and I was looking around like, who's she talking about?
We'll always be.
Yeah.
We'll always be. Certainly the vocal element of us will always be the Barmy Army. And that was something we said when we changed our name, that we would incorporate the Barmy Army element. I remember talking to you on the show, Connor, and saying that it was almost like the TRA, you know, in as much as it was a branch of the supporters club, but we'll always keep the element of the Barmy Army. We'll never get rid of it. It's just that it wouldn't appeal to everybody, but we'll never lose it. Thank you very much, Marty. Absolutely.
That's the one. And then there's another one. It's like _travels, I think, is the travel account as well. So make sure you check that one out.
Message on that one.
You'll find it. Twitter's not that hard to navigate. You just got to navigate around certain people nowadays. Make sure you're following Charlie and Barry as well. Make sure you're liking the video. We're just about shy of 30 likes as well. So make sure you liking the video and subscribing. But for now, we shall see you guys very soon.